Papers everywhere.
Well, that's it.
Then
We are
No, it's not coming. We don't know. Are you going to offer apologies? So you don't know when it's coming? Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. I sense that most of the people that are here tonight are here to look at the situation, there's the allotments and particular situation with reference to Bob Wegg. However, you're going to have to be patient. I'm minded to reorder the Yarm Town Council meeting and bring the allotments forward so you're not here until midnight. But in the meantime, we have to take the Way and Tolls Committee meeting first, which normally lasts about 15 to 20 minutes, so you have to bear with us until we can get onto the main Yarm Town Council meeting.
Can I just offer my apologies to members of the public regarding our website, where people may have been trying to download agendas and such as that. It would appear that all our links to documents have been broken, and it's something I'll try and repair and rebuild over the next few days.
You're not looking at that website.
I am recording.
I've got it. Just to let everybody know that the meeting tonight is going to be recorded, not being video recorded to my knowledge, but it is being recorded. So if anybody's unhappy when they or would like to make themselves known when they say anything, then please do so. On the agenda, apologies for absence.
I have apologies from Lorraine Meakin, Lynn Casey, Philip Tebbs, said he may come late, but if not, he's ill, and the ward councillor Elsie Hampton.
I'll make an apology for Chris Neal. I don't know whether he's coming or he isn't, but I'll make an apology for him.
Item 2 on the agenda is Code of Conduct Declaration of Interest Dispensations. To record declarations of interest from any members on any item to be discussed. Has anybody got any interest? And to consider, vote upon and record any requested dispensation is null and void. I move to confirm the minutes of the previous meeting of Way and Tolls Committee held on Tuesday the 13th of September 2016 to be a true and accurate record. Councillors had adequate time to study the minutes. Any councillors got anything to add?
Yeah, 94-1. I'm still waiting for the two invitations. Onka, we're still waiting because he's unsure about his wife, whether what's going to happen with the kids who've been half term, and I've just found Rob there. So I apologise, I haven't sent Rob's invitation.
Oh, he hasn't get it yet.
No, because I said I didn't know where he lived, but he said print 2 off, and I thought I'd take it to Tesco, but kept missing him, so we sorted it for Thursday.
Are there any matters arising from the minutes of the 13th of October?
93.2, just to confirm, I've actually submitted the pre-grant application inquiry to Heritage Lottery.
Excuse me one moment. sorry, I was just checking that something was on the YTC agenda and not on this agenda. To authorise payment of the accounts, schedule attached.
That's only the small amount of. Where's my schedule? Just the. The market toll rate of £40. Following conclusion of last meeting, this account is now closed, and any remaining balances in the Ways and Tolls general account and the reserve account will be transferred into the Town Council general account.
Item B, to approve the bank reconciliation of the Weight and Tolls account.
Right. And report no difference in what I contain with inside the accounts system. And the balance of £2.73. And the 7874
In the
makes up,
account.
makes out, and that gets transferred into that account. And we'll be finished with it.
Great.
Yeah.
Well done. And to consider the half-year report on the Way and Tolls account.
I'll just give members a brief talk through this, because it's the same report that covers both our general accounts and all the financial transactions are held within the system. It will give you an actual year-to-date of expenditure against the sort of current variance and anything which you actually want to commit within there. We are generally halfway through the year, and you can see that all our areas of spend are identified and coded, so it's irrelevant which account we paid out of, that expenditure will fall within that head. And there are other variant reports I can pull out of the machine if you want the absolute long list of all
Just let us
transactions and
get used to
payments.
those, please, and then I'll ask for more.
Pardon?
I'll ask for more if I need them.
No, it's quite comprehensive, and the machine does allow you to interrogate all your areas of spend and print off by each and every item all your transactions under that. So
I've got them filed and I'll go back to them and look when I have time. I couldn't do them this time.
But there aren't any large variances. There are a few areas where we are considerably underspent, but we will be facing some sort of like larger bills as we get through the fair.
I thought we did well to get the business rate refund and the rate refund.
Well, that's created a huge surplus in that part of the account. And obviously you may want to look at sort of how to reallocate funds when we set the budget later on in the year.
Yeah. Well, there's lots needs doing that we haven't done in the past.
Now, for a council of this size, I mean, having spent a fair amount of time sort of bringing all the financial information into the system, you do get a half-year report, but you can also have a quarterly report. If you're going to one or in 3 months ahead, I'll schedule that in. That would be normal to present that. And the other one would probably be a month before year-end close to give you sort of a feel of sort of how we stand financially prior to the last month within the year. So I'll schedule in that. Quarterly reports and at the 11th month, and then you'll also get the year-end, which is the 12th. Members have any queries on that? I'll take them.
Moving on to item 6 on the agenda, Town Hall. To consider uses of the Town Hall, none received. Is that still correct?
That's still correct.
And item B on the agenda, under Town Hall is quotation received for cleaning out Town Hall guttering.
Yeah, that was £150.
Not bad.
If you want to proceed with that, let me know.
I think councillors mind to go? Yes, mind to go.
Go with that?
Moving on to item 7 on the agenda, Yarm Fair, item A, to consider the numbers attending the lunch arrangements.
Right, I have now up to 56 people who have expressed a wish to come to the lunch. With our catering arrangements with the keys, I've been discussing the actual layout for the day, which will be tea, coffee, arrival, a glass of wine for any toasts, a set meal.
We having coffee as arrival.
Pardon?
We having coffee as arrival, are we?
Well, no, we'll probably just
Quite
move
happy
that to
with
the
that,
end
it
with
was-
dessert then.
Yeah.
We'll just take it with dessert. A set meal and a set dessert.
Mm.
It will be possible to take a few orders for any vegetarians who turn up who specifically ask for that. It'll be quite easy for the keys to make arrangements for that. I'm still waiting to confirm the price of that, but I think it probably could be in the region of 10, 11, 11.50 per head.
Oh, was it last year, do you know?
I think from what we spent last year,
Cheaper then.
it was around about 600 last year we'd spent.
I meant per head.
Oh, I don't know, because I haven't got the actual numbers of last year. You've
Is it
probably
13?
done similar numbers last year. That's my sort of best guess at sort of what our costs will be, approaching £700.
Mm.
Good.
Is there any particular desires of a set meal? I was thinking of maybe sort of like a roast lunch, you know, type thing.
What they did last year was good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Do you want to carry on
So
to
how
item
many do we have now on
56?
56. And
56
and
for lunch?
there may be Rod.
Yeah, Rod.
I've got them two.
Yeah.
The shop owner.
One
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That
just
could-
it's commitments with children. So he said that he would go by the weekend, so I would let you know.
Right. So I think maybe 60, 62 at the max might be it, but I don't
we
think.
started the trailer up, so there's only 32 can get that.
Well, I've got 32 to ride the trailer on my list.
Okay.
So any more?
That's the maximum you get on.
If the, but they need a letter to say plastic is all rush on.
I will have a little label for our guests when they come.
Oh my God. Ah, excellent.
Right, just sort of an update on the fair. Oh, the bus, the shuttle bus that's arranged with Royston. Yeah, the same people as last year, and to operate out of the what do you call it? The Oakwood
Oakwood
Centre.
Centre.
There's a charge of £300 for that to operate out of there, similar to last year, and the bus. You just got back to me on that. I didn't scribble it down here. But that will, I think it's £10 a day extra as compared with last year's. I've been scribbling notes as they've been coming in. So that's on a par with previous. Now, people from like the events team can't provide the coverage for the security of the car park on the night for the shuttle bus. So they put us in contact with the security people from Stockton-on-Teesborough Council and to provide the security for the car park premises where the shuttle bus operates from is £712.
How much for the others? What was last year's price?
Well, I don't think we paid anything last year.
Well, it doesn't say that they won't claim.
But that's what we are going to be charged this year.
And where is the shuttle bus?
From the Oakwood
From the
Centre,
Oakwood
and
Centre.
it comes down to the drop off at the Cleveland Bay pub. which is just over the bridge.
Put taxes in for the cost of that.
That's how it's operated previously.
Park at your own risk. 700 quid's ridiculous.
Did we have people on the car park there last year?
It's quite all right. That's the Oakwood Centre what they charge.
I don't think they have that type of staff. They do that.
Is that for every evening, is it?
Yeah, that covers all the
That's what, 3
Thursday,
nights?
Friday, and all day Saturday.
Suppose when you break it down into that, it's pretty...
That's what they're asking for, £712. And that's for 2 men because their lone working policy won't allow them to have 1 man.
The irony of this, of course, is the fact that there's hardly any uptake for the shuttle bus anyway. I think last year, was it last year or the year before, we had 109 passengers over the duration of the fare. That works out at £7 a passenger if you lay on security as well as a bus.
Well, that'll be £1,000 by the time you all pay for the car park, pay for the security.
Can I ask you, Jeff, to actually see if you can get a handle on the numbers for the previous years, because I think, I don't know if
The Showman's Guilds pay something into that.
well, the Showman's Guild is
Whatever
a
they pay.
lump sum,
Yeah.
It is, but it includes the car
which includes
parking.
that. However, if numbers are, I'm sure that 109 figure was from the year before last. I'm not sure what it was last year. But if it is going to be, if it was 70 people, I mean, 10 people a day, do we really need to lay on
Well,
a
I think
bus?
you should go with this year and see what it's like.
Well, if the numbers require it, then
Could we not just offer it on Saturday then?
I think we need to get a handle on a breakdown of how many people use it. If it's hundreds, then that's fine, isn't
We
it?
have done it
Yeah,
before.
works out
The
reasonably.
numbers.
Do they not charge on this bus, like £1 or nothing? So
No, it's free.
one. Well, I can only ask what numbers are. If I think it's reasonable, a couple of hundred or more, but then again, if we all social media that is there, that option is there
Well,
for people,
Yeah,
we could build it up and make it
I
more
would
useful.
personally ask the Oakwood Centre if they've got CCTV, which I think they probably have, and just put up park at your own risk. And go
Yeah.
for it.
Well, the other thing to do is take the CCTV from Willie Flats and put it there for the night, for
They'll
a
have
week.
CCTV.
The will do.
I don't.
If it's down to CCTV, but I think this is more or less to marshal people in and out. Isn't it?
I don't know.
I think we need more information. I think you should take that upon yourself to
Right.
delve into that one, Jeff.
Okay.
Would not be security on the estate up there as well?
I don't
There
know.
is security on the estate, yeah.
All right, you chop into them. Get it for half the price, it'd be worth it.
With the people from Oakwood.
Well, no, from the actual estate. They have their own security.
There's
up
all
there.
the tech leases up there, isn't there?
I need a contact if who
I'd talk to the Oakwood Centre there, probably a starting point, and then go to the factory.
Is the Oakwood Centre going?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, it's under a different name again.
But it's still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be Dickens.
Yeah, but they've changed the name again.
Okay.
Right, I've had a meeting with the enforcement team also. We're going to have to stick with the old Bluebell half on, half off hard standard for the taxi rank as previously. There isn't any other suitable location that they know of. For blue badge holders, he's saying don't entertain this because it causes problems, because they will still try and park and block the freeway around on West Street in those areas, and that's the key issue of keeping that road free. If that gets congested, then it doesn't work.
But they haven't done it in the past.
No, we
have they?
haven't. No.
There's not been a problem there.
Right, okay then, stop on. In this Northumberland water, I've got their permission to install these standpipes. I've had to order metered standpipes and paid for them. So it's on the schedule of payments. There's £300 of that is an actual deposit, and I've had to fork out and pay. So remind me, that's to come back. and arrangements are made now for them to go in. I'm only just sort of waiting to finalise a few of the other little details and contacts for people and complete the town fair event manual.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody wants a copy, I'll put it on the
No, you don't
I'll
need
put it
to.
on the
Oh, you
drive so you
keep
can
it, you keep
download
the
it.
hard copy.
It's 75 pages up to now.
As long as that goes.
It's been quite a task to sort of get all our arrangements in place, and I've got a few checks to run through tomorrow and Thursday, just to make sure that the people are actually going to do what they say.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. To receive any items for information...
Sorry, Chair, our speeches for the ride-in. Speeches for the ride-in, obviously the
Right,
Vice Chair does the speech for the Chairman.
I've got the speech for the chairman down here, and speeches for dinner.
Yeah, for the lunch.
Well, I'll have to dig them out.
You won't need to do that.
Who's got
Just
them?
there's a set order for them. So it's the Chairman gives a toast to the Vice Chair, the Vice Chairman gives a toast to the Chair. One member of the Council gives a toast to the guests. Then there's a toast to the officers of the fair, which is the hornblower, the ratepayers representative, and the bailey. And the clock.
Pete, if you'd be so kind, can you write me that little schedule?
I'll do the one to the guests if you want.
Just to remind me, and then I'll have a look in the PC to see if there's any.
I'll have a look.
See if there's anything already written out.
But I can do the one to the guests.
Well, I'm quite happy to do the one to
The officers.
the officers.
Officers,
In which case, to cover it.
So it's covered.
But I'll send you the what they call it, the format.
Yeah.
Look, any items for information consideration on the next agenda?
Chair, while we're on this, the library previously displayed the council notices and minutes in the window, and currently they're not displaying anything. It may be worth Jeff having a word with them to see if somewhere within the building that the council agendas and minutes can be put up. Otherwise, the only place we've got notices is down here in the.
Well, that's all we need,
And
really.
Hayley.
That's all we need, but we've always had something in the library,
What about Hayley Park?
and we haven't
It's no
had
longer
anything.
there now.
It's not there
The
anymore.
notice board's gone.
I don't know how long we had it there for.
Oh,
It wasn't getting updated.
No.
Was it?
Okay, can I confirm that the next meeting will...
Hold on a sec, Chair. I do have the 3 quotations for dealing with all the sort of traffic management and the implementation of all the cones and such as that. Now, 2 of these quotes are very similar, and there is one quote which is less than half the other 2. And I've discussed this with sort of the highways people. They're a little bit concerned that perhaps this particular contractor is underpriced. And for familiarity of doing and doing as what's been done in the previous years, the contractor who has the better price of the 2 remaining is the same as last year.
In which case, we should stick with that, I think. They are familiar with it.
we have had shared emails on this, I'm sure. We chose Coneworks, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all covered it.
Fine.
Anything else? So I can say the last thing now.
Yeah.
To confirm the next meeting of the Way and Tolls Committee as Tuesday 8th of November 2016, 7 p.m. Meeting closed at 7:25. Welcome everybody to a meeting of Yarm Town Council. Same arrangements as last time. The meeting is being recorded. If anybody doesn't wish to be recorded, then don't speak. As I've said, I am going to reorder the agenda so that you guys can get away if you need to. I'm bringing item 15, allotments, forward to item 5.5, which is just before the public session. Apologies for absence, same as
Yeah, same as the last lot.
and any interest to declare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, Chair, can I declare a non-prejudicial interest in item 15, please?
Personal non-prejudicial on any item related to Yarm Parish Church.
Okay.
And can I say that I've taken advice from David Bond because I was unsure whether I needed to declare an interest because of my relationship with my sister, and I don't. So I just wanted that note, and just in case there was anything was brought up.
Okay. Item 3 on the agenda, moving to confirm the minutes of the Yarm Town Council meeting held on Tuesday the 13th of September. Who wants to start us off?
I'll start with yours on highways and transport, Jason. 87% of shop owners were affected. That's how
Did I say 87? It was 89.
no, it was 87, don't make it any worse.
No, it was 89.
I could be even better. But this is what's on the minutes. And the people who I spoke to along the high street was a lot earlier than you did. It was for the better, not for the worse. But the way this is written, the shop owners were affected.
Well, can I say that I went out with Jason, we spent, 2 hours, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
And I had, out of probably, I did more than them two, about 40 of them, there was only 2 that said it was better.
Oh well, there you are then. That's
So we've got copies of them all.
Are we not supposed to be getting a breakdown of the results?
Should do.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we were supposed to. CJ, weren't we?
There is a breakdown, some.
No, he said he's got it on his spreadsheet
Up
last
to
time I
date.
spoke to
Because
him.
that was it, because there was a few just over there that
Mm.
needed updating. But it was, yeah, it was 89%, if you could.
Can I go to 1011.1? No permission was given for the creation of 5 more gardens on land either on or beyond area of the planning permission that a previous council had planted with trees to break up the land for burials.
Sorry, what item is it?
It's under I've
Cemetery.
added it on. No,
111.1.
no, 100. In the minutes.
Yeah, cemeteries on that.
Well, that's it. The
Cemetery.
cemetery extension.
Members advise that by referring the site plan to a section of land previously classified for allotments but not utilised due to poor soil conditions was approved as an extension to the cemetery. Councillor Simpson states that some of this land had been taken to provide 5 additional allotments.
Right.
Is correct?
That's my reply. No. Well, it is correct that they've been taken, but they didn't have permission to do it. It was just done.
So who did it?
Well, Bob did it,
No,
presumably.
wait.
No.
Well, who put the allotments there?
Yeah, we did it on allotment land. Peter and I went up to inspect that, Peter, didn't we?
Nothing's to say that it should have been put
Speak
there.
up, Peter. Come on, you went
Hang
up
on,
with him.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
This should come up under cemetery allotments.
Well, I'm just saying it's wrong.
You're
So it
bringing-
will. It
No,
will.
we're
I'm
on
saying
that.
the statement on
We're
there
on
was
corrections to the minutes.
So, so
The
No,
cemetery
oh,
extension
hang
is
on,
still...
oh, still, I'm chairing this meeting.
Well, it's wrong, isn't it? I'm saying it needs
Marjorie,
confirmation.
sorry, you're saying that Bob unilaterally decided that he was going to create
I'm not
5
saying,
allotments
I'm not
on the...
saying it at all. I'm saying there's 5 allotments there that did not have permission to be put there.
They're not
She's saying-
on allotment land.
Jason,
Doesn't
she's
matter
saying
whether they
she's
were or
trying to
not.
ruin the reputation.
Sorry, this
of
isn't,
Bob
this
Webb.
is,
Yes.
She's
this
tried
is,
to ruin the reputation.
excuse me, this is not the public
She's
session.
tried to, I
This
don't
is not the
care.
public
She's
session.
tried to ruin the reputation of Ian Kinney, Rod
It's
Bell.
not- This is not the public
I
session.
don't care.
Hear you, Barbara.
Yeah, Chris Johnson, she's tried to ruin the reputation. John Coulson, Andrew Sherris.
Seems to be a
Who-
trend here.
It seems to be a trend. Who do the council think reputation she's going to ruin next? Who?
Right.
She's made derogatory remarks about Councillor Casey, Councillor Meakin, this man here.
Chair,
I
sorry.
don't
So, come on.
Are we on-
I've asked the member of the public to
Why is it that the
Excuse me.
council allow this?
Can we have some order?
Can we have
That
some-
Jason-
Can we have some
Why?
order? You will have, there's been a public session when you'll have time to speak. But in the meantime, I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. So, Bob Wegg didn't unilaterally construct 5 allotments on the site. So the allegation you just made,
What's
He
it
did.
called, Peter?
he did or he
He
didn't?
did.
It's
He
not
did.
Well, there's 5
relevant at the
allotments
minute.
there,
Peter.
and they shouldn't have
There's
been
5
put there.
allotments
There's
on
no-
allotment land.
There is.
Yes.
You didn't get permission to do
On
it.
allotment land.
You didn't get permission
Off
to
who?
do it. From the council.
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we
It
did.
didn't ever go through council.
Yes, we did. It went through
Well,
council.
Bob, as long as you say, we just have to go along with what you say.
Nothing what I said. Come off it.
Right, there is a public, excuse me.
You are.
Oh dear. Ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be,
Ridiculous.
we haven't, ladies and,
Why is it that the children talk and we can't?
I read this on social media, yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a public
You don't
session.
have to wag his head.
At the public session, you'll all be able to have say something. Can I just
Go
move?
through this.
Can I just move us on slightly on the agenda before we get on to allotments, because this is a precursor to the allotments. So if we can just deal with these first issues before we get on to the allotments, then we can talk about that. Sorry, Marjorie. So where are we up to? Did Bob Wegg create 5 allotments unilaterally
They were
on this site?
created.
They were created.
Yeah.
Is Bob
Well, they're
guilty
now.
of doing that? Is that what he
Well,
done?
he was in charge at the time.
He was in charge of the allotments. All right. So we'll
Chair, can I
what's that
raise
got
a
to do
point
with
of order?
go on.
This is matters arising out of the minutes.
Yes,
It is not-
I'm minded to agree with you.
Sorry,
I'm going to add it on to
It's
the
not
allotments.
matters arising, it's correction in the minutes.
Confirmation.
We haven't got to matters arising.
Well, what would you like me to write in the minutes? That Bob Wegg unilaterally created 5 allotments on the... No.
No, are you trying to say that the minutes are incorrect?
I am saying that. the
What's incorrect
What's
about the
incorrect?
minutes?
It did happen that they were put
No,
there.
that's matters
Not.
arising. What's the correction that's wrong in the minutes?
I don't know, Peter.
Right, okay.
Right.
Now we're on to matters
Now we're
arising
on
then,
to-
I suggest,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's where we put it.
Anything to get Bob Wegg into trouble.
I would like... Can we just... You've got 5 minutes, and then you can have... We can discuss this, the situation with Councillor Wegg. Any more issues on the minutes of the previous meeting? You've all read the minutes, I take it, so you'll all have these notes. You can ping them
I
up.
suggest we approve them, Chairman.
You suggest we approve them, right? So I'm happy to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. I can do 2 on that basis. I can do this one.
Oh, Mark then.
Oh, you've got them already.
I should have agreed with 89%.
89%.
Just admit that.
Yeah.
That's where should monitor that top page. You should have repeated.
Yes, I am aware. I've done this before. Right. Moving on. Matters arising from the minutes of the previous
I've
meeting
got
held
one,
on
Chair.
Tuesday the 13th.
111.4. Have you got anywhere with finding out the records of those burials that didn't have a deed, Jeff?
In time, Peter, I will resolve this,
That's fine.
but I think there's only 1 or 2.
Right. Okay.
But I just, I've had quite a lot on, and
Right.
it's still on my back burner.
Okay.
Andrew, anything? No. Marjorie, anything?
Yes, I think I do have something else.
Yeah, I don't know where I have to bring this in, but because of the questions that the Yarm District Garden Association put in, I've started to look at them to see whether I can answer them, and really to bring myself up to speed on this because I'm not familiar, but I have found one item that I'm very, very concerned about, the toilets.
Could
Put it
Sandra,
under allotments.
could we hold this over to the next item on the agenda, which is
Yeah,
what?
it's fine, yeah.
Marjorie.
Right. I'm not happy with some of the changing of the rules of the allotments. If a tenant cannot manage to cultivate the plot, he or she should consider giving up the plot. If there is a short-term difficulty and he or she require help, for example, during the short-term health problem, he or she should contact the parish clerk indicating the likely duration of needing assistance. For me, that is telling somebody who is quite ill that they should give up the plot.
Councillor Simpson, that is actually on the agenda to be discussed, so if you've got any matters arising...
That is a matter of...
Councillor Holmes, anything? No. Right, so...
Chair, can
Jeff.
I just clarify this one that Councillor Simpson brought up, about 101? The Peter and I went up to have a look at the extension.
Yeah, I've got a report on here.
Have you? Are you going to bring that in?
I'll bring that up.
That'll go under allotments, won't it?
It'll come up under allotments and temporary.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, Jeff. Any matters arising? Any you would like to update us with? Chinks of light in this
No, not a
dull day?
No.
No. Okay. And I move to confirm the Way and Tolls Committee minutes, which is a statutory item on the agenda. So none of those, both those. Allotments. Now I know a lot of you have turned up to discuss the allotments. This week, Councillor Simpson has sent out a list of allegations and charges levelled against Councillor Wegg. I'm sure a lot of you here have got copies of those allegations variously, and I'll keep them. I'll get it down to a notional amount. The charges levelled at Councillor Wegg variously, but not exclusively, include racism, fraud, homophobia, theft, disability discrimination, vote rigging, abuse of power while serving in a public office, cronyism, harassment, bullying, public order offences including urination on an allotment and selling rotten onion sets.
Forgive me.
I really think that we need to get to the bottom of this tonight, and I think we should hear from Councillor Simpson, who's compiled this detailed report of the allegations levelled against Councillor Wegg, and I'm sure she'll be introducing detailed testimony from, and I understand she's bringing testimony in from Councillors Monk and Sherris, who are all named in the affidavit, and I'd quite happily like to take this on. If, I don't know if you want to say anything, Bob.
Chairman,
how do you
yes.
feel about it?
Yes, Chairman, I'd just like to say to everybody, I received this report made by Councillor Simpson mid-Saturday in my mailbox. The time was totally unjust. I have not been given the time to comprehend or investigate the accusations made by Councillor Simpson. Up to now, I have investigated 3 statements supposedly made by residents. I've got the names of them here. These 3 people assure me these statements are false and that Councillor Simpson is telling lies. They want answers as to why Yarm Town Council have let Councillor Simpson use their names for false allegations. 2 of these people have sent written evidence to the clerk. I consider this to be a witch hunt, a kangaroo court set up by Mrs Simpson. Did the council instruct Councillor Simpson or any other councillor to conduct this report? Can you put that answer in the minutes, please? Thank you.
By way of background, Councillor Wegg has been an allotment holder for some 40 years now.
How many?
40 years.
45.
Variously, he's been
45.
variously,
45.
We have.
variously,
45.
variously, he's been elected as chair of the allotments and also chair of the Yarm District Gardens Association. Councillor Simpson's investigations have far-reaching implications, not least of which is the £30,000, which is from the Allotments Committee Fund,
It was.
and also the £10,000 that Yarm and District Gardens Association have inherited, which was collected under Councillor Wegg's tenure. Obviously, these charges are very serious for Councillor Wegg.
I don't have.
Why is it that
You
the
have
council
victims,
allows
so you
all this
say.
to
You
come
have
out
victims.
into the
Look
public?
around you, look around you. The council had to write to Tesco apologising for your behaviour.
even
This is
go
a
that
fact.
Yeah.
Don't even
This
go
is
there.
a fact.
Which is nothing
Well,
more than a
Rod Bell,
parasite that feeds
you
off
need,
people.
Rod Bell, you nearly lost him his job.
Who's the
Ian
next
Kinney
victim?
over there, you
Right, nothing
accused
to do
him
with
of
that.
something, you nearly lost him his
I
job.
didn't
You
accuse
made
you.
on
You
an
did,
Yes,
you
you
made
did.
false
Barbara.
allegations
Barbara.
against
Yes, you
him.
did.
It's all over
Why did the
Facebook,
council-
isn't it?
I
It's all over
absolutely right.
Facebook.
Why?
Vulnerability.
She said that Sheriff, Andrew Sheriff, she's made false accusations against him.
I know that this is
Who will be your next victim, I'd like to know.
I understand
Me now.
that this polarises opinion, but I mean we can deal with it here. We can go through it. I mean we have the list of complaints, and do you know what would be very interesting is if we were to go through them. I think most of the allegations are against people that actually are here, so we could go through them one by one and see if there is any truth in
Sorry, can I
this
just ask?
7 pages of allegations, and I've actually condensed that to number 8.
Why are we having this under the line to discuss this? Are we having it all now on the open?
No,
Okay,
I am
confused.
taking it
thought we were
on allotments to
concerned.
discuss any allotments issues.
I thought there was the other bits on there to consider. Oh, right.
I'm quite happy. I mean, what do the councillors want to do?
Public.
Where did it come from on Facebook? Who wrote it?
Councillor Simpson. Councillor Simpson.
How professional.
Very
Right across
professional.
social media.
Right,
How
let's.
professional.
I think it's important.
Somebody's good name. How dare you?
I think.
Just vindicted all.
I don't like the tone of this mallet.
Yeah,
Can you
I
know
think
me?
I think that we should go through just a few of these, and see if there's anything in here, because otherwise, I don't know if there's many members of the press here, but otherwise members of the press are going to announce that what I said earlier on, that there was Councillor Wegg's been discrimination, vote rigging, all these things, and I think we should deal with a few of them. Complaint against Councillor Bob Wegg from Councillor Simpson. I don't know if you want to do it, Marjorie, or shall I do it? Last year I made a complaint that Councillor Wegg had a conflict of interest, being the Yarm Town Council allotment
True.
chairman. At the time, I believe, so basically he's failed to declare a personal interest because he had an interest in the allotments, yet he was the allotment chairman.
The only interest she's got is destroying the bloody allotments.
And
Right.
how do you know? What do
She
you know?
cahoots with bloody George Wilkinson.
Okay then, so let's take number 2, because I don't think there's a conflict of interest if you've got an allotment and you're allotment chairman. There are complaints from various people about bullying of elderly men by Councillor Wegg. Another person stopped Peter Monk, perhaps Peter Monk could clarify this one, who expected that the August Garden Show was looking for another venue, and he was told that the show would not now be taking place, no doubt due to the bullying of people by Councillor Wegg. Were you told that...
No, I was told by Howard that Howard came to me and asked if the hall was available for the show, and explained it would be, and he said he'd come back to me. When he did eventually come back to me, he said that the Yarm District Garden Association had decided not to go ahead with it. He never said it was anything to do with people being bullied or anything. He said it was because there wasn't enough people.
Well, it's in here. It's in here, Peter. It's in here. When Peter asked the question to Howard, Howard said because Bob Wegg bullied everybody on the allotments, which is a disgrace. There you are. There it is, in here. Well, how did it get in there? How did it get in the report?
That's not what I
How on earth? Well, Well, if it's not what you said, how did he get in the report?
It's all in her head.
Yeah.
She's made it up. If she's
And
something-
Mr Marshall, can I just tell you, Chair?
I'm happy with your response.
Yeah,
If that's your response, I'm happy with that.
Mr Marshall has sent
First point,
a letter to the
a lie.
council.
No, this is the second one. The first one is got an
Right,
allotment
second
and
point
his
is
allotment
lie.
chairman.
Yeah,
Boom.
there we go.
Right, third point, fraud. There are many concerns about
Oh,
the
you didn't
accounts.
hear?
I've no idea.
The
Oh,
accountant
really?
who produced the accounts for
I am.
years, has
would,
for
yeah.
years. Bob, you might like to listen to this because you're going to be answering it. The accountant who produced the accounts for years, for some reason, refused to continue. Since then, further 2 people have been given the books back. Councillor Wegg did not want the last volunteer to have them paying in checkbooks, as he might steal the money.
Here. That was
He
it.
did not like them asking questions about the petty cash he had at home and was not sure how much he had. It seemed there was no paper trail for anything. Fraud. How do you answer that, Bob?
The petty cash is kept in the locker in the hut, yeah, and all the other money goes in the bank.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
It
does.
was at your house. You told me you had.
It has to
something
go
like
to my
50,
house to
60.
go to the bank, doesn't it?
How
Yeah,
does
but
he
when
get
I
it
asked
to
you-
the
How do I
bank?
get it to
Excuse
the
me.
bank?
How does he get it to the bank?
How do I get it to the
Excuse me.
bank?
I asked him how much money he had in cash in hand. So all I wanted to do was report it. He said to me, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
I know how much money I've got in my bloody house. How come he didn't know? 50, 60, 70 quid.
That's somebody else's money.
Somebody else's money. He used to bring it home and put it locked in the green tin, right, the green safe tin. Then he
All
used
right,
to
cool,
take
carry
it
on,
out,
carry
take it
Right.
there. You're lying.
Just
That's
so
exactly
You're a liar.
it's exactly the same that Morris used to do before me.
just so
Exactly.
just so anybody who's not uninitiated in this understands, this is about Yarm District Gardens
Yes,
Association.
yes.
This has nothing to do with Yarm Town Council.
No.
This is money that is taken in by Yarm District Gardens Association, which is in this thing here says 50p per member.
Yeah.
And they put these 50p's in a butter, and then they become members. It allows them the potential to buy some fertiliser and slug pellets and things like that. And this money goes into a tin, which is held in the allotments. And Councillor Wegg says that he takes it home for banking. And the question that arises here is, was there money at home? So there you are, that's that one.
I was given the paying-in book to do that job.
I'd like to say at this stage,
Yeah.
on behalf of Bob, I've worked with him for 40 years at British Chrome, and he's never once done anything like that. So it's completely and utter a pack of lies.
Okay.
And
Can I-
it's coming from one person who was on the internet last night, and I sat reading, I couldn't believe what I was reading, what Margie Simpson, Councillor Margie Simpson, had put on there.
Who votes for this?
Absolutely
Councillor.
dreadful. Dreadful. If I was Bob, I'd
I'm very.
I don't.
She's not good people, Yarm. She just
I'm-
likes causing trouble all the time.
Guys,
Go back to Harley.
members of the public, I'm very grateful for your support for Bob Wegg, but if we could go through this, we can probably put it to bed now, this evening, and forever. Onion sets bought at the shop were more rotten than usable.
Oh, give me.
Bob, onion sets.
You might as well put that you don't like his hairstyle.
I want to hear about the onion sets.
Let's hear about the onion sense, Bob. Come
I'm
on.
sorry, Jason, but this is just.
Yeah, the onion sets.
It's ridiculous.
The onion sets.
It's Margie Simpson that has it all, so not Bob.
Let him
One
speak.
word.
Let him speak.
For years I've been buying onion sets from Bob Wegg. They've always been exactly what he sold.
Me too.
And 14 years I've been doing it.
Right.
I would agree with that.
Onion sets. Okay, that's another one gone.
Do I have to answer that?
Witch hunt.
Isn't it? Ridiculous.
It's better than the
Ridiculous.
telly. It's better than the telly.
Nepotism.
Come on, everyone, it's better than the telly.
Another complaint is that Councillor Wegg ensures his friends get an allotment as they are not on the waiting list. It would seem the committee are not allowed to see the waiting list. Nepotism.
Unbelievable.
Friends.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But if you believe Councillor Simpson, he hasn't got any.
I haven't got any friends, obviously.
Unbelievable.
Too bad to have friends.
Yeah, I haven't got any.
Disability
Isn't it?
discrimination. A disabled wheelchair lady was refused her name being put on the council waiting list by Councillor Wegg.
And that is,
lady.
I'll tell you
A
what that is.
disabled lady.
I'll tell you what that is. That is Councillor Simpson using a disabled lady in a wheelchair for political points. The lady never came to me and asked me to go on the waiting list. Why would anybody not put a disabled person on the waiting list?
I've been on the waiting list for years.
Tell me.
Racism. Racism.
Can I answer that one?
Jason, can
Can I answer that?
Oh, go on.
I've got this.
Which
somewhere.
which one is this? Is this the disabled one?
Yes, this is. Yeah, I've got it somewhere here. I've got Mrs. Jones's email to the council. Several years ago, I regularly worked on an allotment in the Brickyard site with my friend Martina. It was her plot. We shared everything. I was encouraged to put my name down for a plot on the list. This I did. I have waited patiently for about 8 years and heard nothing. I'll go no further. I've only been doing it five and a half years. So she didn't put it down when I was there. She did it 8 years ago. I wasn't doing the job 8 years ago. I've only been doing it for some 5 1/3 years.
Why did you take my name down?
Yeah, I haven't got your name. I didn't take your name. If you want an allotment,
That's yours.
if you want an allotment, you go to the clerk of the council or the chairman of the
Okay,
council
well,
that's
the
running
next
it. You
thing
don't come to
said,
me.
Can you put your name down because we need as many
You don't
names
put
as
your name
possible
down.
if
You
wanna
don't
build
put.
a car park
No,
on here.
no.
So
It's,
I put my name
how
down
can I
for-
put your name down when I'm not running it?
Well,
So you
why
don't
did
even
you
want
ask
an
me?
allotment.
You
You
don't
don't
even
want
want
me
me
in the first place.
There you
Put
are.
your name down for
8 years ago. 8 years ago you put that in. 8 years ago. I wasn't even doing the job 8 years ago.
Right.
There's your answer.
Right.
I wasn't doing the job.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are
Wasn't doing the
numerous
job.
allegations on this, probably too numerous to list, but we shall continue.
I
Racism.
wasn't even doing the job.
Racism.
Yes, it is.
Are you a
Not
racist,
load of
Bob?
rubbish. How rude.
Definitely not.
Rude?
Definitely not racist, and everybody in this room knows I'm not.
I don't.
No.
I was
I
brought up with
don't.
these people.
I don't.
Steve,
I don't. I've
Steve.
got witnesses, Bob.
Steve,
I've got witnesses.
Steve, I got you a cedar greenhouse free, and I cut your glass for you and put it in
Irrelevant,
there.
mate. It is
Why would I do that?
irrelevant.
Why would I do that?
Racism.
Why would I do that for you?
What's that to
Why
do
would
with
I do
racism?
that for
I've
you?
heard what you're saying behind the scenes.
Oh,
You have not.
You've
What are
heard.
you talking about, missus?
You might
Do
have
you
heard.
know? You don't know.
Excuse me.
I know that I've been
Mr.
wrong.
Monish.
I've got
I know what
witnesses.
Mr. Monish.
children.
Mr. Monish. Mr. Monish.
Yes.
Are you saying that you know firsthand?
Yes, I do.
You know firsthand of you, or
Yes.
you've heard?
Yes.
You've
I-
heard?
I haven't heard it.
He's heard
Of
you,
him.
said he's
No.
People have told me.
Dead right.
People have
Dead
told
right.
you.
There you are. There you
Willing
are.
to stand in court.
There you are. What a
And
joke.
say that people have told you.
Yes.
Right. And who might
Is
have
that a
told
joke or
you?
not?
Was it Mr. John Colton, perhaps?
No.
Is that a
I'm not
joke?
willing to
Sorry,
say.
this has become a...
We
Is
know
that a
Right.
joke?
Homophobic remarks.
Chairman, I actually
Are you a homophobe?
Definitely not.
Chairman,
Right.
Chairman, I actually
Urinating in
I
public.
actually spoke, Chairman. Can I just say this?
Sorry,
I
is
actually
this a public
spoke to one
session?
of the
Not yet.
people involved.
Not yet. We haven't done marrow theft yet. Please let us move on.
Listen,
Marrow theft's a very important
What were you
one.
saying, mate?
this is 5
I
to
actually
8.
I'm going to get through it very quickly if there's no more interruptions. Urinating in a public place.
No, and Mrs. Simpson did not catch me urinating. As she said there.
Hey,
She's put in here.
Has Mrs. Simpson ever been behind a bush? Because
Right.
I bet a lot of people in here have.
Right, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Next one, marrows. Marrows. Councillor Wegg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Average, already
Bloody
charged.
joke.
I will hear about the marrows.
Blow.
I will hear about the marrows. Councillor Wegg, did you or did you not steal marrows and exhibit them at the show on August the 15th?
Definitely not.
Steel marrow.
Steal the marrow.
Right.
Isn't it
Andrew
ridiculous?
Sheriff.
Isn't it ridiculous? Everyone
Councillor
knows.
Sheriff,
Look, they're all
you were told
shaking
by
their heads.
3 allotment men in
Absolutely.
Yarm about the unacceptable behaviour of Bob Wegg and his bullying. Can you tell us about that?
I was approached by 3 allotment people in Yarm to ask about problems on the allotments, which I reported at the last meeting.
Is any of them in here? Is any in here?
Yes, there are ones.
Well, you could have asked them to repeat it.
It was brought up at the last meeting.
Well, I never got it. What was?
Well, name it.
Well, it's in this report. That's why we're asking. It's in the report. That's why we're asking. It's in the
We've got to
report.
know it is.
Well, no, because I think they should be dealt with privately. I don't think somebody should come through.
That's right.
I don't think there
Oh,
is.
things should be
Right.
right.
Sandra.
They've decided to put it out
Just
to
put
the
them.
Right.
They haven't done anything. Haven't said anything. Haven't made statements. But they're still
Right,
putting their names
Councillor
in.
Wegg. This, which was before I chopped it down, 10-page document, and I only changed the size of the font to get it onto 7 pages. We've gone through every line, every point: fraud, racism, homophobia, whatever.
Gone through what you wanted.
There's my
And I want
answers.
an
There's my answers to everybody
I
there.
intend to answer what you've just all said.
That would be a very long evening. That
I'm
would be
going
a
to
really long
answer
evening.
this. You aren't going to get away with just accusations.
You're making a
You're
fool of
doing it for
yourself.
In 2 years, well,
Put it on
if you be
Facebook
quiet,
and say,
Mrs.
No, I
Webb, you
will not.
will
You're
be.
making a fool of yourself.
Don't you, it's you that's taking a
Excuse
fool.
me, I will
You
not
just
stoop to
feed
your
on
level.
causing
It's,
people
you
pain
don't
and
know me,
anguish.
so keep
No,
your
you
mouth
should
to
have.
yourself.
You
You
should
know you.
have. All you can tell
Right.
is
Yeah.
talking to the
Yeah.
problem.
I've never met him, but I know him for what you put on the Facebook last night.
Right. Right of reply, right of reply. We are going to hear the reply now.
All of this has been collected over 2 years. I haven't said it all. I have witnessed some things.
Yes.
But these have been collected from various people
Who
who
have
are willing
denied
to
it?
stand behind them.
Yeah.
Denied it.
And one man that I met in Aldi,
What about
he had
St.
a great deal to say, and I would hope that he
Excuse
would
me, could we
stick
let
to those.
let Councillor Simpson speak,
If you
please?
wouldn't mind, thank you very much.
I think she's
So
said enough.
It's
It's all in the
She's met a man in Aldi. I'm up to that bit. Can we hear what the man in Aldi said?
No, you can't. I'll put everything in here. These are things that have been given to me, and I've written it down. There's been no rush to do what you would call a witch hunt.
You're just a parasite. You feed on other people's pain and anguish.
This is not
When are you going to do something constructive for your
Look at it. You've
And
there's people like
Right, hang on. The public session is immediately after this. Let's just hear from Councillor Simpson.
Who's the next victim going to be?
Quiet, man.
You shut up.
Oh, no. We don't do that in here. We don't do that in here.
Investigation.
You carry out,
When are you
Shut up!
No, you shut up.
All of you.
Jason, I think
Investigation into allegations.
Well, I'm gonna have to close the meeting if it comes to that. Right.
She's the one that
You've had your turn, everybody else has the right to
I will
speak.
defer to
He
you.
hasn't had his turn.
I will defer
Said
to
enough.
You've made it up, but he hasn't had his turn.
members of the public. If you don't desist from this behaviour, I will have to eject you from this council chamber. Now, Mrs. Simpson has the right of reply. She's going to have a few minutes with her right of reply. It then becomes a public session, and I'm happy.
doesn't have the right to
I'm
put it on the
happy.
bloody
I'm happy
internet.
at that point for you to make your point. So just
Right.
give it a couple of minutes, and we're there.
These are my findings. And I've had people contact me. I've gone out to look at the allotments. I've looked at every complaint that they made. And these are my findings. I can back up some things, but not all of it.
Well, you should be writing
Why
it.
is
Should
it
you
for
not?
people?
I can write it.
Four people are saying that what you said is a lie.
What about
Good
these
night.
chimps?
Chimps. No, they're the people.
Chimps.
Marjorie, the chimps are the people that vote for
Did
you.
I speak
Yes.
to chimps?
Yes, you did.
I did.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what's that? Chimp?
That's about which we
Chimp has that book.
I wouldn't call the members of the public chimps.
There are people who will go
Exactly.
Yeah.
to court if it happens.
People are going to go to court
Yeah.
And they will declare it.
declaring
But
it.
it seems that when they get into this situation, they are intimidated by
Oh, what?
By you.
Yeah.
By you.
By
You to do
you.
it.
These have been
Well,
Oh, they
told
lock
me,
the doors
but I
here.
have
Here we are.
They're intimidated by you. You've tried to destroy Ian.
Who's the next
I
victim?
am
Sorry, but again, it's not a public session.
I was going to think
I found that I'm going to move this on, but I was
Move on.
yes, but I was interested.
sorry, but
I got up to the point about she met a man in Aldi, and then I thought about the man she met in Tesco's and tried to assault.
Bloody joke.
The whole thing's a joke.
Of course it is.
There's 1,500
Criminal.
people on your Residents Association page which now don't know the ins and outs of this, so now they think they believe what they see on Facebook.
Exactly.
That is totally wrong,
That's right.
unprofessional.
Defamation of character.
Council West Green Office to answer.
Right. I'm gonna have to. If you would please. I've got to move this. I've got to move this on. I have to move this on. I have to move this on. I have to move this on.
We've got two items that
Jason.
we want to bring up under the allotment.
Right. I'm gonna have to move this on.
Sandra?
Yeah.
Right, I am, as I said, I've tried to bring myself up to speed with what's happening on the allotments, and I am very concerned that we seem to have a situation regarding the electrics and the main hook. We obviously all know are dangerous. I want a copy of the quote. I want to know which company did it, why they did not point out regarding the safety. We should have had, as for January 2005, there's legal requirement for all work on electrics, dwellings, associated buildings to comply with relevant standards. There should have been some certificate. When was the unit last checked at these allotments? Who installed the cable from the second allotment, and was he qualified?
The second allotment hook?
Yeah, from the allotment. Apparently there's a cable hanging mid-air, isn't there?
That was put in 25 years ago.
But when was it ever checked? Because we've now got kids going on those allotments. We've got cable running underneath. If all this hadn't have come up about all the carry on, it would have still been going. When was it last checked, that allotment, for the safety?
Well, I have to say, Councillor McLeavy, that we're sitting in the town hall now. When was this last checked?
It was checked in January. Was it January? I called the fire brigade out, and it was January.
And they did pat tests on appliances and electrical testing?
No, but the pat test was up to date. That is June, I believe, and the fire extinguisher was June, and you were supposed to.
You know, I'm looking around at all these people thinking it could be toast tonight.
Yes, but Jason, I did actually point out when I called the fire brigade out that at the beginning of every meeting you were supposed to give information, and you would check in the
I'll check that every now and
you check
then.
there every time you come in, because we need to pass that over to you, Jeff.
Could you investigate that, Jeff? Yeah, Jeff will investigate that.
Yeah, I've also really want to see copy of this quote, because we should have had building regulations for the toilet from the information I've been given from Stockton Council.
Building regulation
Consent application. It should have been submitted. The toilet is now going into the original drainage.
It always did.
Yeah, well, yes. And
Always
I've got a letter from Paul Dickinson here that states that I can confirm that erection of a detached toilet, it doesn't need it, but if, however, the drains have been connected to the existing below ground drainage system, then there would have required approval, and a building regulation application should have been submitted.
Yeah, but they've just put the toilet where the other toilet was.
Yes, but it was a new building. And
they haven't done anything about
But surely this company that have come out that seem to have wired from the old hut to the new toilets have thought obviously that main board was safe, but wasn't safe.
I'm minded to agree with Councillor McLeavy. I think we should close the toilets as well.
Well,
but
the electricity is off in the toilet.
Yeah, but we've got to now submit. Andrew, would you take this over perhaps tomorrow with Paul? I've got the details here.
Chairman,
he's asked for information.
The electricity is turned off in the toilet.
The electricity is turned off.
Yeah, but it's not that. We're in breach of building regulation.
Absolutely.
Why wasn't this done at the time that the quote went in?
Well, we don't know there wasn't, so I'm going to ask the clerk to investigate.
But, well, no, he has.
Has he?
No, sorry, not the clerk, but Stockton Council have.
Right. So we need to apply for retrospective planning permission for the toilet.
Building reg.
Building regs.
Yeah.
Can I say something here? There's a brand new brick toilet got built a couple of years ago, if that. It replaced a blinking portal, but it was on the same pitch. And the plumbing is exactly the same, out and in. Because I used to repair it in the winter when it got frosted. And she knows that as well.
The only thing different is the electricity's been wired up to it.
Yeah, but why did they wire it up when they used
It's not.
circuit board? This is dangerous. I'm really concerned about that they haven't brought that to anybody's attention. We could have killed somebody.
Can I suggest,
not only that,
we've already got 2 quotes to have a look at the electrics.
Yeah.
And we can raise these concerns with them.
Yeah.
not only that, they used the wrong type of wire.
But we've paid that bill.
Yeah.
They've used the wrong type of wire.
Chair, have you finished?
Yeah.
Chairman, I've got one.
I would just like to suggest, you don't mind really, that we take a note of that contract and we don't use them again.
Yeah, but it's alright saying we don't use them again, but we've paid a bill for something that really they could have killed somebody.
Chair, the last meeting, concerns were raised about the cemetery extension and the fact that possibly allotments had been built on it. So I arranged with Councillor Wegg and myself to inspect the cemetery extension, and I can confirm that the area which was originally approved is still there in exactly where it was, and has not been used for the creation of allotments. Councillor Wegg and I agreed that the fence around the site will require replacing, as some of the fence posts have rotted away. Now bear in mind they were put in 20 years ago, they are going to need replacing. All we need is a post and wire fence, so I'm proposing that we get a quote to have that done, Jeff, if you can.
I'll second that.
And we can get that sorted out. Yes, the site requires some tidying up work, and then we, both Councillor Wegg and I, feel that if it was made into a wildlife garden with bird and bat boxes, that would be an appropriate use for the site as it is in the short term. The other issue was the disabled gate.
Sorry, so we
So
accept
can
it.
we agree to
Can
go
I
ahead?
just ask you, before we go any further, because this refers to the
Yeah.
last bit.
Yeah.
You were complicit in this arrangement to go up there and identify it, that it wasn't going to be allotments, that it was going to be potentially a wildlife sanctuary, and the two of you did that together under the direction of the council.
No, we did it under our own decision to go up, and I wanted to go up and have a look.
It was
to clarify what the situation was with the cemetery extension. The
It
council
was-
didn't ask me to do it. I went up with Councillor Webb.
It was spoke about at the last meeting.
But it was
that-
So the allegation of Bob going up there and creating 5 mini allotments was nothing. There's nothing in that.
No.
No.
There's no allotments on it whatsoever.
Sorry, Peter. Go on.
No, sorry.
I just needed to be clear on that.
No, there are no allotments on the cemetery extension. I've took the plan up.
I know what that looks like.
Please, it's very soon that you get to talk.
I took the site plan. Well, I actually got the site plan out. I didn't bring it up with me, but I've got the site plan, which is in our filing cabinet, which is a detailed site plan of the allotments and shows the allotment the cemetery extension on there. And as I said, I can confirm that the cemetery extension is still exactly where it was when it was first put in.
Excellent.
But I'm proposing
96.
that we
No landslip.
I'm proposing that we put a new post and wire fence in, and Bob seconded that.
So, really good work, guys.
Right, disabled gate. The disabled gate was put in.
This is a scandal.
No, the disabled gate was put in many
No,
years.
not like the other gates.
Can I carry on, Chair?
Yeah, sorry.
The disabled gate was put in many years ago, following the discussion with the Allotment Association, who built the raised allotments for disabled tenants.
No, we didn't.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Mr.
It was
McCarthy.
put in by
Mr. McCarthy.
Mr. McCarthy. At the time, there were issues of access because the main gate was locked, but that issue has now been resolved because the main gate isn't always locked, and so it follows that there's no requirement at the moment for a disabled gate, and it is particularly difficult to get through.
Very difficult.
Notwithstanding, there is stuff on the other side of it, and that's nothing to do with access. It is difficult to work that disabled gate from a disabled person's point of view to get in. And so I'm suggesting that if we do want to retain the disabled gate, a new path from the gate would have to be laid and a better locking system should be installed. But that's the council's decision whether it wants to maintain that disabled access. But it needs to be done in consultation with people who use the disabled gardens, who actually need that facility. And at some point, a discussion needs to take place with those people who are disabled, who use the allotments, to see which access is better for them.
Well, the particular people that use the disabled allotment now, driving.
Right. They don't. Do they have mobility scooters?
No,
or
they're
just
driving.
cars?
They're
Right.
driving.
Okay.
And there's a parking area on the disabled plot for them, as long as they all don't come together.
Yeah. I also, I didn't discuss it with Bob, but it's just an observation that the cemetery road from the allotment hut up to the top of the allotments should be cleaned out and should be reinstated with gravel or road chippings, because it's very difficult to get but it's very difficult to get wheelbarrows and stuff up there. if you're taking up manure and other things. So I'm proposing that the council get a quote for reinstating that road with gravel or road chippings.
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay.
It's all harmony, isn't it?
That's right up the side and then
That's
along
up where the allotment hut is. It goes up alongside the fence and then along the top towards the cemetery extension. And that'll make a clearer access and an easier access for those people at the top who have allotments at the top and the side. I mean, we have done it before in the past, but it's got overgrown. It's got it's got out of hand really.
There's actually the school actually lets the water flow off their playground onto our road, which every winter we have a mushy with vehicles. There's not a lot of vehicles go over it, but what vehicles, and it sinks a bit. And last year we put 6 small trailer loads of gravel in that we got from the guys that were working on the meadow.
Shouldn't we be talking to the school about their drainage problem?
Yes. Could be, because the drains come out the side of the under the playground straight into the.
Well, that's an
onto
issue
the
that we
cemetery.
need to take up with the school.
Yeah. And there's a very bad place.
I suggest you speak to the clerk and identify the areas and get Jeff to write to the school. Because obviously that's impacting on our property.
We'll have a site visit, Jeff, sometime.
Yeah, well, I'm out.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Anybody else got anything on that? Consider the quotes for electrical works to allotment huts. Be considered under item 16. Oh, so we're moving that later on. Consider the reply from the Yarm District Gardens Association, copy attached in response to the council's decision last month.
Because we've got the special resolution.
All right.
Chair, it
Move
might
that
be
to
appropriate
16.
to bring forward the special resolution that we've put in.
Yeah, I brought that forward till after the straight after the public session.
Okay.
So I'll move that to consider reply from that point to 16 as well.
Okay.
And C also to that point, and D. We can even take D now. Is that the point of the person, the complaints?
No.
That will go to 16 as well. Yeah, right. Okay. Then. Okay, so that's the allotments over. Public session. You are allowed to speak now. 3 minutes per person. Who would like to start?
Me.
Jason, in this,
Yvonne?
Marjorie is she wrote this about Bob,
Yeah.
and then she's just said that she can't back the allegations up after them. So why did she write them? Why did she? And the other thing I'd like to know, has anybody from the allotments here seen me with Bob? Has anybody seen me at the allotments with Bob?
No.
No, thank you. So why, Marjorie, are you telling people that I'm in cahoots with Bob, causing trouble up the allotments? You need to stop lying and get your facts right.
I think you
need to go off this council, move back to Hartlepool and stay away from Yarm, because you're nothing but trouble. I come from Yarm, I've lived here all my life. It's people like you that come into Yarm causing out with trouble.
You know nothing about the area. Why do you care about it? What's it got to do with you?
I've never heard one person call him, not one person, but quite a lot of people in Yarm hate you. Absolutely hate you.
You're just a parasite.
I'd like my question answered.
Barbara.
Will I be the next your next victim, or will it be?
I've been a victim.
Oh, you've been
She's moving on now, Barbara.
Oh, right.
I haven't done
Barbara, wait for the name.
Can I make a question, particularly to Mrs. Simpson, Councillor Simpson? Are we going to get an apology to Mr. Wegg from you today?
As I've said, those are my investigations.
But you just said you can't back them up.
My wife looked on the internet last night and saw you live. Never mind who I am. I'm a member of the public.
Thank you.
If you want to talk,
Rod Bell.
Yes.
These allegations go back about 2 years. So people are concerned. Why didn't they put the complaint in there and then he shouldn't be asked to answer to historic allegations.
38 years, unblemished reputation. And since 2014, according to these reports,
2 years ago.
it's all kicked off up there. And I'll read the allegations again, shall I?
Jason, is
this really necessary? We've already had this discussion.
I
Within
thought
the allotment.
His reputation is
Right.
all right. His reputation is all
Public
right.
session, isn't it?
If you wanted it
Well, I don't know.
She's done really
Would you
upset
like
his
to?
family.
Could you phrase your statement in a question, please?
Why is it that the council are allowing her to get away with all of this with no repercussions of any bloody sort? She can say what she wants, how she wants, affect people's lives how she wants, and there's nothing bloody done about it.
Because nobody can do anything about it. Over 1,000 people voted for that lady there.
Well, is she going to retract the allegations that she's made that we've tonight?
No, she's
As I've said,
not
that's
true.
what my
She can
investigation
retract them.
brought out.
What about Howard?
To them 1,500 people she's put them out to yesterday and more.
What about the one you said about Howard?
Yeah.
Peter never said he
Well,
said it.
I'm
Howard
afraid
never said he
I
said
have
it.
to disagree
Mrs.
with
Hill,
Peter.
Mrs. Hill never said she said it.
He didn't say it to you, he said it to Peter. So how do you know that Howard said
Carol,
it?
please, enlighten us.
And Howard wrote a letter. Howard sent a letter in here to the
Carol's got
clerk,
a written submission.
calling you a liar.
That tells you
Calling
how
you a
much
liar.
backbone they've got.
Yes, calling you a liar.
Can I just say that
It's not
Go on,
about
Carol.
having backbone, it's
I
about
found
telling the
it
bloody
extremely
truth.
patronising.
And that's why
What do you
can't
think about them,
bloody
Peter? Come on, be honest.
You couldn't
You've known me for how long have you known me?
Right?
They're ridiculous, aren't they?
Sorry?
They're ridiculous. How long have you known me? They're ridiculous, and you know
Anybody?
that.
I
You
found
would, yeah.
this meeting tonight to be a patronising, unprofessional meeting. I found that people have been speaking out of turn when they're not allowed to, and which you have allowed, mostly because they're probably your supporters, I would think. but
You were one of them. You were one of them. You were?
I read on the Yarm resident site 2 days ago some things that you were putting on, Jason, where you were whipping up people to incite riotous behaviour, and I think you've got what you wanted by the people who have come tonight. You've made unprofessional comments.
Mrs.
You've been
Simpson
calling
has
other
whipped up.
excuse me, I'm talking.
Mrs. Simpson.
And you've been calling other councillors' names on the website, and I find that totally unprofessional. And this is Yarm, this is where I live, I am a resident, and I would like this conducted in a professional manner, not a rabble like
Well, then
I've
speak
been.
Are you only applying to one person, or the other one that's done it as well? Aren't you replying to Mrs. Simpson? Aren't you replying to Mrs. Simpson as well?
Chimps, how rude.
Yes.
Is that racist?
I
What would you call that? What would you call it?
Is this because you haven't had the result that you wanted?
Right.
Is
Yes.
this because you haven't had
It
the
is.
result you wanted?
It is.
Here tonight.
Yes,
You know.
I'm just stating that's what I'm stating
Yes.
that's happened
But
tonight.
people feel strongly about it. I've come from Edmonds.
Yes,
and
I know,
feel
but
strongly
there
about
should
about
be.
what that lady's put on the internet.
I felt
about a
very
friend of mine.
strongly about things when I've been in the meeting and
Yeah.
I've been told to be quiet as soon as I've raised my voice because I wasn't speaking in a public session.
Well,
And yet this has happened tonight, and it's just been
Kangaroo court?
kangaroo court, which is
Dead right.
which is
Just what I
intended-
said.
Just what he
which
said.
Just what I said.
What
Kangaroo
you
court.
intended, Bob, but you
Kangaroo
flipped
court.
the tables
Kangaroo
and made
court.
kangaroo court
Right.
on Mrs. Simpson.
Thank
and
you.
I find both sides really, really rude and very, very, well, it's just
Right.
pathetic.
Thank
Isn't
you.
it-
Thank you
isn't
very
it
much.
about-
Yeah,
Isn't
try
it
having
about time?
your dad said things about on social media and
No,
see what you
that's
say.
true.
Disgusting what was
Yeah.
See what you say. See if you say anything in front of a
Are you going to
public
control the
forum.
meeting, Chair?
There has been, he has
Don't be
said things
good at
about
that.
other people on social
Which
media.
is
Sir.
Have you
Good job.
ever been
Not
called
bad.
a chimp?
Sir.
Have you ever been called
I
a
would
chimp?
just like to
You've
ask
been
you,
called a chimp
I
tonight.
don't know how many complaints Mrs Simpson's raised on here, how many points she's made. I don't know, but there must be 20 or
Oh, there's
something.
not.
I don't know exactly.
There's
But as any other councillor...
Please, can we just hear from one person at a time?
Got 50 answers.
Sir.
Is there any other councillor that's had all these complaints? Or any complaints?
Oh, I have.
Bob,
I have.
you've had complaints?
Oh
from
yeah,
Bob,
I've had
Bob.
complaints. I've had my fence next to my house. That was a lovely thing. My border was in the wrong place. All sorts of things. No, Oh, you mean historic complaints? Has this ever happened before or not?
Complaints such as made against Bob here by
Yes.
Mrs Simpson, as any other councillor
Yes.
received those same complaints
Yes.
about Bob.
Oh, not about Bob, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. Has anyone else
we've got
complaints about Bob?
Oh no, none of us have. No, you're quite correct.
So they're all coming through Mrs Simpson.
I
That's
thought what you were saying was other councillors had this happen to them.
Oh no.
And I would say yes, that's
I'm
happened.
saying no.
It happened with Councillor Sherris. It happened with Councillor Monk. It's happened with myself.
Oh, yes.
It's happened with other councillors
I'm
here.
talking about-
This is not unnatural.
Bob, I'm talking about people making accusations against Bob.
And they all came from the same source.
And they've all come from the same source.
Yes, but we've been trying to get rid of that source for years, but we can't get rid of it.
She's been actually canvassing these reports. She's actually been canvassing these kind of things from anyone who gives us
Soliciting and
information.
canvassing these reports. Has anybody else got anything to say from the members of the public? Because we do have a meeting to conduct after this.
Yeah,
Yes,
can I
please.
just say something,
Pam.
Jason? You know, if people are going to start putting, you know, a man said this or a disabled person, then I think they should have the, you know, the guts to turn around and give the name and put the name to a complaint, not just somebody said, oh, this man said this, this man said that. You know, we've already disputed some of the things that.
Yeah, well, she
did.
She's given 3 names here that I've checked up on.
My
and they've all
advice
denied it.
to Bob when I saw
He said
this
letters
was to take it to a solicitor.
Yeah.
And I understand
Absolutely.
Bob
Absolutely.
is going to take that to a
Yeah.
solicitor. I think the thing to do for Bob is tonight to get this report signed by Councillor Simpson.
Yeah.
And she's obviously implicated within that, Councillors Monk and Sherris. And I think I think Bob deserves to stay in court because to be accused of that list of things.
Can you sign it for me? There's your report. Will you sign it? Can you sign it for me? You're not signing it. You're not signing it.
You can make unfounded allegations and not put your name.
I know you didn't write it, and Howard confirms you didn't do it. It wasn't done. But that's where it came from. What for?
Can we have a complaint then to David Boyd? David, is it David Boyd? Bond against Mrs.
He won't do anything.
He
He won't do anything.
Everybody complains.
She needs to be stopped because she won't.
The only way you can stop her is to vote her out. Come the next election, which is two and a half years away, you can vote her out.
over there.
Right, has anybody else got anything? Because I'm going to close the public session unless somebody's got something to say. Yes.
Regarding what Sandra's just said about the buildings, wouldn't it be advised that the council should get an independent clerk who works to sign the buildings off at a certain cost?
Well, I would have thought that surely that if somebody's come and done all that work, which is downright dangerous, that we could be fined by Stockton Council.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it checked by somebody on the council?
Clerk to work, to come and do it, he can sign everything off for you.
Well, I would have thought that that should have happened before we paid the bill.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting apparently illegal work with these electrics by the looks of
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty bad.
But this is what I'm saying, anything over a certain cost of building would we do.
Who
And
oversaw
independent clerk work should
the
be costed
work,
into it.
Well, I was on the site,
Yeah.
but I'm not qualified to oversee electrical work or
No,
even
no.
building work or anything. You know, the then clerk put the estimates on the table, and the council decided
Well, really,
who to go for.
It should have been the clerk should have organised someone to oversee the work.
Well, I know the day we had
But who? I mean, who's qualified to do it?
Yeah.
I'm not qualified to say yes, that's electrically
The
okay.
clerk's
or,
just saying,
yeah, the
just
plumbing's
saying
right.
me now, where he will look at the building, go to building control and look at the independent clerk of works. The clerk will take care of that because it's part of the remit of making restorative measures at the allotment huts. So I'm going to close the public session now, and I'm going to move on to correspondence. Sorry, Molly. Please go ahead.
I would just like to agree that I think your attitude has been condescending and patronising quite a lot this evening. You don't seem to be taking things very seriously. Maybe because you don't think that they're serious allegations, but I think you should be in a more even-handed position in the role that you're in at this meeting.
I haven't had a lot of practice. I've been out of the position for a
Well, I
while.
would like to say I thought you've handled it very well considering the pressure.
You are
Sorry.
patronising.
I think you've handled it very well.
Thank you very much.
Considering all the pressure.
Can I continue with
Yes,
the
please do.
protocol? There are a couple of things on that list of accusations which I actually agree with. I don't agree with the whole thing on what seemed to be put together, and agree that there do seem to be a lot of accusations that aren't founded. I don't want a witch hunt. I am an allotment holder, and I want the allotments to be run in a way that's good for all of us, and that's why I've been involved recently in the meetings there to try and help that to happen. I get ignored by Bob, I get ignored by Bob's wife. They won't look at me or speak to me on the street, even though they used to speak to me, just because I've attended a meeting. Now, I think that's out of order. And
This is why, because you're behind this
I'm
with
not
Mr
behind-
Wilkinson.
My husband spoke to you,
tell
Bob, and said that he thought you it would be beneficial if you could be involved with us.
He couldn't
to
keep
make
his head
it
up.
so it
He couldn't keep his head off. He was talking to me like this. He couldn't look at me.
Man, that was
He
she
couldn't
was
look at
trying
me.
to speak to you
Couldn't
civilly
look at
to say that he thought it would be beneficial for you to be involved so that we could all sort this out together. Now, you've taken it upon yourself since that to completely blank me, completely ignore me, and as I said, so has your wife.
It's my
I
decision.
haven't done anything wrong.
It's my decision.
I just want to try and get to the bottom of what's going on. I want to try and help sort it out. And it just seems to have got ridiculously out of hand and is being treated as a joke, when a lot of it isn't a joke. A lot of it is actually stuff that a lot of us do feel there are facts and evidence behind.
Yeah.
The public session is now finished. Can I just make a summary though? Yes, you're quite right. This is a joke, and I have treated. Marjorie's submission of 8-10 pages, in my opinion, is a joke, and I've treated it as a joke. And for that, if you've been offended by that, I do apologise. I think you as allotment holders need to go back to the allotments and work together in the same way as you worked together 3 years ago. Now, unfortunately, there are a few self-centred people with vested interests at play in this. Now, previously, you all worked very, very nicely together. Up to 2 years ago, you all said whatever. Sorry?
I agree. I think it's come to a head, but I don't think it was. I think people would just knew there was no point saying anything because nothing would be done. And
I can quite
that's
see
gonna
the
happen
reason
again.
for that.
Right. We have. Let me just look at the way the allotments are run. We have a clerk of the council. The clerk of the council is responsible for the waiting list. He's also responsible for implementing all the things on the allotments that you want. So you want a hut, you want electrics and whatever. All that is fundable. You have a big slug of money in the Allotments Association's budget. So all those things can be laid on. I understand you've got toilets and containers if you require them, whatever. We elect an allotments chairman every year. Bob Wegg has always been thought of highly by the council, particularly when it comes to putting somebody in charge of the allotment, because Bob actually has an allotment. Bob spends most of his day on the allotment. So rather than having me, who you'd fall out within seconds, or Fred, who'd close it down under health and safety for reasons immediately, Marjorie, who will do whatever Marjorie does, and so on, you've got the best person, the person that knows most about the allotments. Now, if there is an issue with that between you and Bob, you can see here, has got a lot of support. Now, he wouldn't have a lot of support if he was a bad person. So I would ask you, therefore, and I'm sure Bob would be willing to do so, I would ask you, therefore, because it must be terrible for people going onto the allotments and going on there and having people stare at them, people unhappy with them, or whatever. People just want to get on and dig their gardens and have a nice time. And I think this has been brought to a head, and it's been brought to a head, and you might say it's been festering. Well, great. This festering, blister is now opened. So now we can talk about this. And if there is something you guys want to say, don't go away and say he's this, he's that. Talk, communicate.
I've been going to the meetings and I've been listening and I've been contributing, the same as I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Jason, can I just ask, you're on the allotment committee. Has no one approached you?
No.
Saying that they maybe got any concerns, or when you've gone down there for the...
My understanding here is you have Yarm District Gardens Association. Yarm District Gardens Association used to run a shop out of the allotment hut. The shop might have sold slugs and pellets and whatever. Over the years, I asked Bob what the Yarm District Gardens Association has done under his tenure, because he was the chair. Because under here, in their rules, it says, not in their rules, but their articles of association, to promote the interests of all members in their gardening activities and to take joint action for the benefits of members, to conduct negotiations with the local authority and private landlords for the use of gardening land, to take action to protect members against damage, trespass and theft, to obtain supplies of seeds, fertilisers, tools and other horticultural equipment on behalf of members, arrange lectures, film shows, demonstrations, competitions and other social events, cooperating with other gardening associations in matters of mutual interest. From what I understand, the only item on there is that the actual Garden Association have carried out, they might be carrying out different ones now, but carried out over the number of years that Bob's been at the allotments, is selling goods in the shop. So effectively,
can I
a commercial.
say that I suggest you read some previous minutes, because Yarm District Garden Association provide 52. Well, they provide. Acquire. There was something here about 52 hours work at minimum wage. £300. I've got all these information here that I thought we were going to speak to. No. So no.
Yarm Allotment Association.
Sorry, Maureen obviously got the minutes wrong.
No. It's a small group of men, 7 men, who happen to be
allotment
holders.
So why is it in there then? It's saying Yarm District Garden Association. Well, why didn't you correct the minutes back in?
Well, it was missed and it shouldn't have been, whenever it was.
Can I just finish what I'm saying? Because I am trying to create a more cordial spirit between you guys. The thing with the Yarm District Gardens Association, yes, there might be lots of things that they might potentially be able to do, but what they actually do is they actually sell goods as a shop from the allotment hut. Now, if you remember Yarm District Gardens Association, I think 39% of people on the lower allotment are members or something like that. It's not everybody. It's not an all-inclusive association. No. Recently there have been tales, and I'm not one to spin tales, but no, I'm not. I'm not one to spin tales in the same way as Councillor Simpson has. I understand, however, there have been issues with the shop. People being asked to leave, people have been asked to take their tools out, people being asked to not come to the shop and so forth and so on. I understand that. Now, there have also been a bit of a coup at the Allotments Association, the Yarm District Garden Association. Will be right in that. There's been a change of. No, well, whatever. There's been new people, new blood come in, and things are happening, and there is change happening. Yeah. Yeah. Would that be fair? Okay. So where this happens, there becomes the cordial spirit is stressed, because you have got one group of people who don't have anything to do with Yarm District Garden Association. You have Yarm District Garden Association who want to do more, and it basically the yin and yang is out of kilter. I think what you guys have to do is, everybody up there is human. You all got on with everybody up there up until supposedly 2014. I think you should take this moment as a watershed moment. And I think you should say, rather than going away, forming 2 different factions who stare at each other across the street and say, I hate you and you can't park your car there and all this thing, actually bury the hatchet and work together for the good of the allotments.
Webb would do that as well, because as I said, I totally understand why his family feel aggrieved. I would if I was in their position. I haven't got anything personally to bring against him. I don't appreciate him treating me like he's been treating me, and his family treating me like they have, just because I've expressed an interest in something. And I don't like his tone, speaking about my husband, as I say, who I know for a fact went to him in a very conciliatory way, and he's looking at me now like I'm talking absolute rubbish.
There was only me and him there.
I don't care, I know. Because we just get ourselves, and but it's just that you deny everything, and I'm not having that again.
Right. Sorry. I'll just take, because you did have your hand up in the public section. Go on quickly then. Yeah, quickly. Yes, please. Bob. Please.
I said to you to your face, I said it myself, that I hadn't got anything against you at all.
Right.
And you have completely chosen.
I want to diffuse this. Just diffuse. No, please, madam, I'd just like to diffuse this 1 second, please, and take this additional point.
Chairman?
Yes.
The lady's wanting people to all get back together and work as a group, and yet only last week, the vice chairman of the new committee, who previously 2 weeks of that had told me what a bloody good job I was doing on the allotment, then reported me to the clerk and wanted me removed off the allotment and my tenancy terminated, because I was taking a tree down. A tree that I'd already got permission from the clerk to remove.
And this was whom, sorry? This was the Yarm District Garden Association.
Mr Wilkinson, who hasn't even had the decency to turn up to the meeting.
Right, I'll take that as the last point on that. But I do think, honestly, guys, you need to work together for the good of the allotment.
Yes,
You turn this into a political organisation. It's Yarm District Garden Association. And the letter you sent to me was an absolute disgrace. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You should not send letters to any citizens in Yarm. And I've asked for a working party to be set up. And
You're just having your strings pulled by George Wilkinson.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I
he
asked
is.
for a working party to be set up.
We did have a working party.
Right, we obviously there are issues. Yarm Town Council are responsible for the allotments. Guys, Yarm Town Council are responsible for the allotments. It's up to us to resolve the issue. That's what we will endeavour to do.
It's not the George Wilkinson show, though.
Right, moving on. Correspondence.
I don't think you're making matters any better.
Hey?
You're not making matters any better.
Neither are you.
You fenced it up.
We're moving on with our agenda now, if you don't mind. Oh, actually, can we take item 8 now? Special resolution.
Yes, Chair.
Standing Order, Section 11A. Members have submitted a call upon the council to reverse its decision to close the allotment hut and its decision to withdraw support from Yarmouth District Association on Tuesday, the 13th of September 2016.
Yes, Chair. At the last meeting, the Yarmouth District, the council decided, or rather agreed, to no longer accommodate Yarmouth District Garden Association and allow them to use the allotment hut. Now, we know there are issues with electrics, that's not the issue. Yarmouth District Garden Association have used that hut for 40 years. So custom and practice says, because the hut was provided for the allotment people to use.
It wasn't, Peter.
It was.
Oh, yes, it was.
It was. I've got a set of the minutes from the council.
It wasn't. It was there when I was 9-year-old. I used to go in with my father and my uncle.
It's over 40 years ago since it was put in.
It's well over.
Yeah, but it
well
was
over
provided
40.
for the allotment tenants to use.
Yes, you're right. The allotment tenants to use. That's right.
And
It was for a shop.
it wasn't.
It was.
It was not.
the majority of allotments provide a shop. The majority of allotments per se across the country have some sort of facility where they have a shop where they can sell the necessary things for the allotment tenants. So
Yeah.
what was going on?
So why does it have to be Yarmouth District Gardens Association that sell
Because they
it?
were running it.
Why can't it be, instead of being a faction, why can't it be the allotment holders as an entire group?
There's no reason for that, but the decision
Because
by
I
the
think,
council...
Peter,
no,
what
hang
you've
on,
said
the
here...
decision by the council was to no longer recognise Yarmouth District Garden Association and to stop them from using that building. That's wrong.
Right, well, I might have been minded to agree with you had we done it under the minutes, but we didn't do it under the minutes.
No.
Because my point at the time was that we didn't have any problem recognising Yarmouth District Gardens Association. we didn't recognise the fact that they should ply their trade on the allotments in the allotment hut, which is for the good and benefit of all of the allotment holders. You are trying, if you rescind this, effectively what you are doing is you are creating a civil war at the allotments. You are you are pitching one side against the war against the other. Yes, you are.
We then put a counter proposal in once that's rescinded to have the allotment hut reopened once it's the election.
And give it back to Yarmouth District Gardens Association.
To have it reopened and have the shop reinstalled and have it run by Yarm Allotment Association. That's what I was going to propose as
It's
an
Yarm
alternative.
Garden Association, there's only one, Peter. I used to think there was two.
I don't
There's
see
only
why
one.
you want to have the thing
Because the original
overturned.
decision
If
was-
you want to
was
come
not
to,
legal.
if you want to come to the council with a new application for Yarm and Gardens Association to set up a shop in the set up a shop within that premises, then that would be fine. We could add that onto next month's agenda.
But you need to rescind the original
you would have a complete support. As it is, you have a situation here where you want to rescind something, you can't rescind it. You
Can't
rescind.
You can.
Of course it can.
Sorry, well I'll defer to our proper officer here, who's our legal representative. What would you say?
Members, as the clerk and proper officer, you can't really rescind this because what I cannot find in this council is an agreement, a lease, a terms of use, a reference of use for council buildings by an organisation. We do not have that. We are giving, at the moment you're being given carte blanche the use of a premise to an organisation without any formal agreement in place, and that's the most important thing that we need.
Can we not defer it till we find
Until a formal agreement is in place of use, then we can sort of begin to sort of
But you're
see what it is.
You're quite happy to come along with the new offer and,
I think
do
we
that.
should do it.
We don't need to do this.
In the interim period,
We can't do it anyway.
the building will remain used, and I can't recognise any use of that building by the Yarmouth District Garden Association, because I don't have a document that covers us.
You don't, we won't
Customer
have
practice.
a
It's not like the
Customer
methodist
practice,
law.
customer practice does not live on in perpetuity.
You won't have a document.
Right, but there is no reason why the council can't work with the Yarmouth District Garden Association and other allotment holders.
Because I don't recognise them anymore.
Well,
But why didn't they recognise them before they passed the resolution?
What was
last
the,
time
what
out?
was the,
Why didn't they sit down and negotiate with them, saying what are the problems? How
What have
can
they
we
done?
help you?
what we need is we need a term of use, some form of
Well,
lease, some form of
I've-
agreement between the council and the organisation who wants to sort of run and have the rule of say over that building, and what either party does to that building. As the council, as the client holder of the building, what are we responsible for? And the organisation who uses the building for their business, primarily as a shop, what are they going to be responsible for? At the moment, there's nothing in place, Peter. And I
It
can't
won't
have
be
the
in place
council
after all these
given
years.
carte blanche use of its premises to an
You don't
organisation to
make the
use.
decisions, though, I'm sorry, Jeff, but you just don't make the decisions.
Yes,
You can only
I'm-
put something in front of us, and what you're saying to us, we should wait until the health and safety issues are out of the way. Well, it won't matter about the health and safety, because they need to go into it, they just need to be taken back
Right.
to their shop.
Right. Okay, I accept your point, Marjorie, but we are
It should
still
never be put out.
using ratepayers' money to do up, refurbish, and sort out a
We're
building.
not using ratepayers'
We're not
money,
using
are we
ratepayers' money.
using the allotment?
Well, that's
Well, it has to
Association.
part
still-
in a way.
It's still ratepayers'
That's
money.
still money that has come in.
Marjorie would argue
That's
this if
still-
the boot was on the
There is
Still
not
ratepayers'
sufficient.
money.
There's not sufficient money drawn in from the allotment holders in rents to
Oh, no.
undertake all the works to
No.
that building over the last couple of years, which has
Well,
been
it's in the
windows and
piece
building the
then.
toilet, etc.
But the
but in
allotments
fact-
usually even out.
Can you listen to the clock?
But if
I think he's
somebody-
trying to talk us into something that shouldn't
No.
be done.
But we haven't got a lease or agreement of use.
You
That-
don't need a one.
Well-
It was put
well-
in place by a council in 1975 or somewhere around that area.
And
The
where
man
is
that
it?
was behind me
We should
previously,
have had that.
Mr Wilson got his in 73, Morris his in 77, and in between that time
Mr.
it was
Wegg,
up
72.
and running. It was up
72.
and, it was up and running the
May I
a shop.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was up
73
and
is
running the
the,
shop in 77.
I hear you well, Margie.
That's
you
what
there?
my first
That's
allotment
right.
is for the- in
73.
1973.
Yeah.
And that was there then.
Yes, it was.
It
But-
was.
It was, and it
Of course
was
it
used.
was.
What terms
Yes,
of
of
use
course
and
it was.
reference is there to this
You
agreement?
don't know everything,
I
right?
don't have
I
anything
did
there.
ring you and ask
So
you.
how
Well,
can the
I told you
council
I couldn't
agree
tell you-
to
can we-
permit something
when?
when it has nothing to
Well,
fall
I
I
back?
realise
Yeah.
passions are high, but we really need to have one.
The only way
We really
can
need to
resolve
have one
that issue
meeting.
is to go down the archives and go through the minutes.
We'll do that. Bring it back to the next council meeting. But
Of
my
somebody.
Hang
point
on,
would be.
sorry.
My point would be. Sorry, Sandra. You can say.
Right, well, because I was very confused with who the Yarm District Garden Association were and the Yarm Council allotments. I have tried to, as I said, try and get myself up to speed with it. Obviously, I haven't been able to do it much because the website's been down, but I have got quite a few minutes off. And to me, since about 2010, Yarm District Garden Association have worked with the council. They've basically dictated to the council what happens. There's been meetings galore, everything, it says here, rent increase will be discussed at the next meeting with the Yarm District Association, which is scheduled for October. I've got them where there's just so many of them that I've pulled out where you're paying for 340 quid, I think it was, for some.
What's changed in the last few months then?
Well, I don't know. This is what Michael. I know we're not supposed to include because it's. But what do you know? When did Yarm District Garden Association start? I remember going down there in '78.
Well,
buying
I
stuff.
can only go back to 87. Sorry, 77. But I moved to Yarm in '76. Previous to that I lived at Eaglescliff and I used to go down and buy stuff.
I've
It
been
was
down
run
there
by
once.
Jimmy Rose basically, and I think there was a guy there before Jimmy Rose.
So how far would we have to go back to try and find?
We're not going.
That's all it's the last few.
We're not going back at all.
The council went up to their gun and just shut all the sheds down last month.
Right. Let me explain what happened, just so everybody's aware. The Yarm District Gardens Association sent a long letter to us asking us a number of questions. The questions on that letter ranged from who's responsible for insurance, who's responsible for the electricity, who's responsible for this, who's responsible for that.
answered?
We went up there and looked at the insurance policy, we looked at the electrics, we looked at everything. Jeff made the unilateral decision, along with, actually it wasn't unilateral, you went up there with Lynn and various other people, that given how we had been put on notice by Yarm District Gardens Association with regards to the state of the hut and the activities that were taking place in the hut, that Jeff made the decision to close the hut down.
She can do a duty of care of young people.
Yes. So therefore, the next step on that was actually to look at what we needed to do to bring back the hut into. But it flushed out a larger issue insofar as what do Yarm District Gardens Association actually do? And from that we looked into it and we said, well, they collect some money and they trade from the shop. That put us on notice because it's basically a commercial premises. It's a commercial premises that they want to sell fertiliser, slug pellets and whatever from, which is absolutely fine. But it's not insured as a commercial premises, it's not secured as a commercial premises, and it doesn't meet the health and safety requirements of a commercial premises. So then you say, so should we allow Yarm District Gardens Association to go in there? Actually, no, because there's a lot of disquiet and disharmony at the allotments at the moment. There are two opposing factions. One is Yarm District Gardens Association, and one is the rest of the allotment holders. And you've seen tonight that there are two forces acting in parallel. Putting Yarm District Gardens Association back into the allotment hut and giving them the right to trade and precluding other allotment holders from access to that allotment hut will cause more friction. More friction than you'll ever know. You'll have a war kicking off up there. You've seen how people.
So have they just started selling stuff from there? Because
No,
I
they've
remember
been
buying stuff in the 70s.
signing it for long. But I'll just finish up here if I may. Peter made the suggestion. We have made a clean start now. Whatever you think about that letter, whether it was good or bad or whatever, it's happened. We've got a clean start. We can create a new organisation, which may be Phoenix from Yarm District Gardens.
Something that already exists.
Because we need to create something that actually
if you sat
isn't.
down and talked with them in the first place, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Can I just say,
it really wouldn't.
We are.
Can I just say there,
you
Chairman, you've got one point wrong. The very first point you made. Because the letter that you got was not from Yarm District Gardens Association. It was from Mr Wilkinson and a few other people who decided to send the letter to this council.
No, we had a meeting.
Without, no,
we
you
had a
didn't.
meeting.
No, you
didn't attend.
You didn't.
Because it doesn't go your
I'm
way.
talking.
You don't attend.
I'm talking.
anything.
William, wait a minute. I'm talking about.
This guy.
I'm talking about.
Right. Hang on. This is not the public session anymore. I'm afraid.
I'm talking about the first letter that came to this council asking for the council to look at a change of rules, i.e. so-and-so.
Yeah.
It did not go through Yarm District Gardens Association. It went from a little group of 4 or 5 people. They sent that. Mr Wilkinson sent that, and he admits he sent it. He admits he shouldn't have sent it. That's the letter that
Is that
you
the
got.
case, Mr Eyre?
Not as far as I'm
Yes.
concerned.
Mr Wilkinson admitted
I was
it.
there when he actually admitted it.
Can I just
That's right.
say,
Is it right?
I've been involved with the
There you are.
association since August.
There you are.
Since
He did
August.
apologise for doing it.
I have had an allotment for over 35 years.
He sent it
I've
before
never
August.
had any previous involvement. Now, there was some disquiet over over the allotment list, termination of if you wanted to give your garden up, and various other things. Bob was chairing the meeting. A person asked who was in charge of the meeting. Bob replied. A number of questions were asked of Bob, and he didn't reply to them. Right, so the next thing that happened was 10 letters, according to our association rule, 10 letters were sent out, giving 7 days notice of an extraordinary meeting.
Michael, you're missing the first point when the
no,
first letter
let me
came
finish.
to the council.
Let Michael finish first.
Let me finish. We sent 10 letters out, given 7 days notice of another meeting. There were 17 people came to the meeting. You were down the allotments, you didn't attend. I think were you down there?
I attended, yeah.
You attended.
I attended.
There was a number of other people down there doing the gardens that didn't attend. A new committee was voted in. We were asked to send a letter to Yarm Town Council.
It's not. Well, the letter was already drafted before.
The email was already sent.
Yeah, we sent the names of the people. That
No, the email was sent.
An email was sent from George Wilkinson.
You're about 4 weeks late, 5
from
weeks
himself.
Right, so we move on from there. So the next thing we have is
I've got it wrong again.
you've got factions. There's no doubt about it. You've got Bob's lot on one side and other people on the other side.
Some people want to join your side. I wanted to come along to your meeting last
I'm
Sunday.
the chairman. I have to speak for
where was it
Bob, and I
advertised,
have to
this meeting?
speak for you.
Where was it advertised, this
You're not
meeting?
being even-handed. I'm trying to be even-handed.
I'm trying to be even-handed. I wanted to
Right.
come along to your
Jason,
meeting.
Jason,
It wasn't advertised. It was a secret
Right.
meeting.
I've asked you to have a meet, get a broad church of people together, including councillors. Let's have a working party.
I'm minded to hear what you're saying and agree with you partially.
Have a working party. Report back to the council.
What I'm concerned here is, quite apart from the fact that it's illegal, it's wrong, that we basically we are in a situation, whether we like it or not, why Yarm District Garden Association, the allotment hut shut down, Yarm District Garden Association are no longer part of that hut. That project.
Right.
We have an opportunity here. It is isolated. We have an opportunity now to create harmony where there was chaos and discord. Yeah, to quote a very famous
Well, we
lady.
tried to bring women
So
into
why would we want to put it back to how it was when this quiet is created? Why don't we do what Peter Monk said, which is basically have that meeting, thrash out the points of reference. If you still want to call it Yarm District Gardens Association, but we'll have had that. There will be goodwill amongst people. But everybody has to be included in it.
Jason, listen, there's £10,000 involved in it. We can't just dissolve the association. It's got to be done legally.
That. Well, no, I'm not suggesting you can do that. What I'm suggesting is, following on from what you said, because Bob's not going to go down to the allotments and have people staring at him, and you don't want to have people staring at you and yours. You don't want to have people accusing you of this. You don't have Marjorie all over the place. Nobody wants that. What you want is it to be sorted out.
It wants to be inclusive, not exclusive.
At this moment, you've got a clean sheet of paper. Why not take that clean sheet of paper, say to the council, I would like you to organise a meeting where the allotment holders, the allotment holders can come along, the allotment holders, not Yarm District Garden Association, the allotment holders can come along, everybody can come along. If you want me to be the referee, I'll be the referee.
I don't. What you need is a broad church of people. But we need councillors on there, and you need a mix of both women and men.
Bob, would you be? I mean, if we said right, we draw a line in it now, and we go forward to
get back to the status quo.
We go forward and we put together a meeting where everybody can come. It's all inclusive. At some point during November, let's say, would you be willing to attend that meeting with your acolytes?
I'll think about that.
Michael, do you want to work for me? I'm happy to.
I want to work.
Let's get this
I want to work with the councillors, right? Because you're the people who are in charge of the property and the land. Right.
I think we'll have.
We can exist without that because there's £10,000 there. Because we haven't got an allotment to it, doesn't mean to say that it's not going to exist.
You could work from a fisherman's club. I
That's
completely
right.
understand that,
Right.
yes.
Well, let's get to grips with it. But we need to know where the money's come from.
I'm trying to get into this.
Right, okay, well, I tried to flush it out and tried to come around to your way of thinking, Peter, but...
I'm proposing that we under the standing orders special resolution, to reverse the decision that was taken at the last meeting to not allow Yarm District Garden Association to use the allotment hut.
I don't think you can do that, Peter.
I can. It's a special... Can I finish, Chair?
Well, you can, but I don't think you can do it.
Once we've reversed that decision, we then have a clean sheet, and then we can start.
No, we don't have a
going
clean
down the-
sheet, we have Yarm
God, we
District
go back
Council.
to the status quo.
That wasn't the status quo. The status quo is now.
The
There's no-
allotment hut is still closed because of the problem with the electrics. We can then look at alternative use for the hut afterwards.
But you don't know the terms of reference for the use of the hut afterwards. They're going to have to make
We
a
know
completely
terms
new
of reference.
application.
We can make our own terms of reference along with the people who use it in this discussion group.
It's not just the...
Defer to Jeff, you're the expert, Jeff.
I'm proposing that we reverse the decision.
That to
of the
me is
standing
still
order.
out of order.
It's not
No,
just
it's not
that.
out of order at all, Jeff.
Not just that.
Just sit quiet and do it.
If somebody, an allotment holder from a long time ago, anyone who's present as an allotment holder, any members of the council, or anyone who can find a document, can say this is what the terms of use, this is what the council agreed that the building can be used for by an organisation. It's not really an umbrella organisation under this council. It stands independently.
I don't think it does. This what worries me.
Because you can't just hand over a use of the premise to an organisation without any terms of reference.
I think
agreement,
that's the beauty
and
of what
lease.
Peter's proposing now. I think the important thing is to return the status quo to where it was and then set up a working party so we can negotiate collectively to a common agreement where everybody can sit down and work together rather than continuing like this. I think you've absolutely missed the whole point of the last meeting of getting the association and discussing with them about the issues before you actually pull the plug on them. If you'd done that in the first place, you wouldn't be having this conversation.
Excuse me,
can I just
say
you turned it into a toxic
It's nothing to do with this is not public. This is not public session. We're trying to have a discussion here so we can make a decision.
Well, I take your point, but council has to have something
decide.
in place. If you want to revert back to this previous position, you've fallen back to nowhere because you don't have anything
I think we've
in
got custom
position.
and practice to fall back on.
Well, what is the custom and practice?
It's what they've been doing for the last 40 years.
What have they done wrong to be thrown out?
I'm not saying they have done anything
They
wrong.
must have done for you to do it.
The council did not have the powers to go and demand the keys and close the allotment hut on the grounds that it was doing it. Yes, there's issues with the electrics and we accept that. But the way that it was done and the way that the council at the last meeting decided it would ignore Yarm District Garden Association is incorrect. It shouldn't do that.
Absolutely.
I know your point, Peter, but
there was more
the council
shouldn't be arguing.
does not have the powers to grant the use of its premises to an organisation
already
without
done,
any
Jeff.
terms of
But it's
agreement.
already
It's
had it
already
for 40
been
years.
done.
It has already been
41 years
done.
ago.
But where is these documents? Where is the proof, the evidence?
Well,
Where
you'll
is the
have to look for
fallback
them.
position
Go
for the
down into
council?
the archives and find them.
The whole idea of setting up a working party in it comes to some common
Yeah.
accord.
If there is something in position, in situ, then all said and done. But I don't have it. This council doesn't have
Well,
it.
we don't need it.
Nobody has produced that to me.
I'll defer this decision
No,
until the
don't.
next meeting.
Put it.
No, don't do
Put
it.
it.
Well,
Proposal
that
it.
may give you chance and
No,
opportunity.
put the proposal in.
I've already
Put
put
it.
the proposal.
do it.
And it's voted.
I've put a
And who is going to
proposal
vote for it?
that we
Chairman,
reverse the
can I
decision
just say
taken
that
on
Yeah, well.
111.6.
Can I just say that the hut wasn't closed simply because of electrics. It was closed because all
I'll
of the
second it.
safety issues with the chemicals in there, with other equipment in there, with the fire hazards in there, with the fire precautions and everything there, not just for the electric.
You think you were sitting in it?
And so we have electrics that are faulty. We have chemicals in there, potentially fertiliser.
What
which
you've
is
been
make
doing for the
bond
last
with.
2 years,
Oh,
sweeping.
yes, but we've done exactly what was
What?
requested of us.
You've been chair of the allotments, you've been going in there every single day, and all of a sudden this comes out.
I'm
of
not
the
saying it
woodwork.
was right.
Then why didn't you do something
Well, it's
about
been
it?
brought to a head. It's been brought to a head now, so
Why
something
didn't
has
you
to be
say
done.
something?
Something has
You
to
know,
be done.
why do you want to go
Why
back
didn't-
to it?
Jason, are you
You were a
chairing?
councillor.
Because it gives them a chance
Jason,
to work
are you
it
Do you want to
out.
turn it back to the same as if you just slagged them off for?
Treated them badly, man.
Very badly.
Jeff, my final words is the council hasn't got a legal position to fall back to on place. It hasn't got a position.
Didn't have a legal
And that's what it
position
needs
to
to
do
work
it.
to.
It didn't have a legal position to
To
do what
it
it did at the last
did.
meeting.
Well,
And it didn't have a
So
legal
it was
position
wrong.
to close it.
yes, it did, because it didn't have any documentation of
No,
proof
you
or evidence of
don't.
something
You're a
in
new
position.
person coming in here, and it's funny how new clerks always want to change everything, but Yarm wants it left the same. So you need to understand what Yarm really wants.
Yes, and what Yarm is getting at present, Marjorie, is a sort of a system of confusion. Nobody knows what's what.
Oh, I'm
And
sure they
nobody
do.
has any real responsibility of that building. If it was the councils, we would have been in there year upon year doing the pat tests and testing the electrics, etc. That's never been done, as far as I can see.
Well, it's down to
That
the
has never
council,
been done
isn't
by
it?
the
Yeah,
Yarm
but
Garden
why have we
Association,
paid
is
for
it?
new windows then?
So,
Yes.
so
Why have we paid for new windows? It makes no
well,
sense to me with all
somehow
this.
that's crept through
They
and
said
been
that
done.
the
Same as
building is
toilet
actually
block.
fine.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
Sorry,
the
we're having
electric.
one meeting here. Can we listen to the clerk, please?
We don't have a fallback position
Put
because
it.
we haven't got anything to fall back
It's
on.
already been put. I've seconded it, and we need a vote on it, please. So can we have a show of hands,
I'm not
Jason?
taking no. No, you can't. You're
You can't
you're
do that.
taking, you're
So
taking.
you're not the chairman at the moment. I'll take chairman. With the proposals being set,
Who's chair?
can we chair?
Peter's second proposal is probably the most
I've seconded
pertinent
it.
way to
Can I
go
take
forward.
charge?
Let's wait a month, see if
Well,
we
somebody
can
has
come
to
up
do
with
it.
some documents in terms of reference of use of this. Without that, we have to start to look at
Well, can we have a vote, please?
Right then, I'm moving on the
Put your
agenda.
hands up, never mind him.
Right, finance, to authorise payment of the accounts. Moved on. You had your moment, you had your moment to stand.
Go.
There you are.
You have to vote.
No, we're on correspondence.
Put it.
No,
I've
Chairman,
seconded
we're on
it.
finance. I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing. You had your chance. You had your chance. You had your chance. All gone. Thank you. Next.
Come on, Clark.
It's not right. Can you
Right.
say that's right then? Are you going to
Finance.
agree with him on that?
To authorise payment of the account, schedule
No,
attached.
We've put
No,
a
we're
motion
not having
together.
that.
Motion's on the
Motion's been
table.
proposed.
And it needs a vote on it. Whether you like it or not, we've put a motion together to reverse a decision of the council.
which takes the
Which
council
takes-
back to its previous position.
Yeah, good.
No,
That's how it needs to
that's
be.
fine and dandy as a proposal, but prove to me what our position is.
Who doesn't agree with it?
What is our
Let's hear
position? There is no terms of reference for the use of that building. I can't find anything. Nobody
been down to
over
the
the past 5 or 6
archives?
years
Jeff,
has ever really
Jeff,
bothered
Jeff,
internally in
Jeff.
that building.
I suggest,
So,
Jeff, I understand
can I
what you're
suggest
saying.
that we get to the archives and find some, if there is any?
I can't understand why we can't do this next month, but we've been to the archives and found these terms of
Because
reference.
we've wasted an
You
hour
say
and a half
it
on
is.
this.
Yeah.
I'm sick to death of it now.
It's just, it's
bloody
crazy,
going for it.
Pete.
No.
We all want the same thing.
What I'm trying
We
to
all
do-
want the same thing out of this.
What I'm trying to do is
No,
put
we
it back
don't.
to the
I just
status
don't
quo, because
believe
we
that-
shouldn't have done it.
No, that is not putting it back to the status quo. That is
And
plunging
then
us back into the
we
same
can-
situations we had
And
before.
then we can sit down and move forward in a
Were you not
different
here
direction.
last month when you got that list of things from George
Yeah, of course I
Wilkinson,
was
all
here.
those questions?
Yeah.
And what did we do on that basis?
Have you answered them and how are you going
What
to
did we have to
answer
do on that basis? We had to close the allotment hunt down. What did that flush
You
out?
closed the
That-
allotment
No,
hunt
not just
before
the
that
allotment
meeting.
hunt. That flushed out the insurance issues. That flushed out this contagion that we've got with these issues.
Well, we
It
cannot
flushed out
alter it.
all
Still
sorts
do
of
that.
issues. Now, you want to move them back in. Let's basically deal
No,
with the issues
no,
that
no,
are
you're
people,
not.
You're
not
not
the
listening.
issues that
You're
are
not
bricks
No,
and
moving.
mortar.
I'm not listening. What I said was, we reversed the decision that we took at the last meeting for the Yarm District Garden Association to be no longer accommodated in that hut. That's all we're doing. And then we move forward after we've gone back to the status quo. We then move forward with the Yarm District Garden Association and the working party that we're putting together to find a way forward.
But we don't have the articles of reference from
We can make the
Yarm
articles of
Probably don't
reference.
exist, do they?
If
We
the
could-
chairman
No, that's why I
Articles of
said,
reference.
from where we are, if they put their
Well, that's the
article
whole
of
idea of
reference
the
to us,
working party.
No, why can't we
You
have a
come up
meeting
to a
with
common
them?
accord.
Come on, vote.
You can't do that from an uneven point of view.
We haven't got a fallback
Because
position.
I'm,
I
I'm
don't
sick to
have
death.
it.
This is going to go on now. Like.
From a legal point
Well,
of
It
view,
needs a
vote.
vote.
Whatever,
Jeff would
whatever
have
I'm
it.
voting for, I'm voting.
Council
Because I've got to bloody
Have the
Council
vote,
hasn't
let's move
proved
on.
to me
Let's
that
have the
exists.
vote.
Jeff, should we not
Come on.
find where these,
We're
find,
voting
go to the
for
accounts
it.
and find
find these.
Can we have a recorded vote?
You can't just say, oh, I'll just, oh, whatever.
Well, maybe you can't, we can.
That's not taking.
No, I'm not because he's getting on my nerves. Well, it is, he's getting on my nerves.
It ain't shocking.
Is that how you make all decisions? Is that how you make all council
You're
decisions?
making yourself
Well,
a
this is
joke.
what I- whatever.
You're making yourself a joke.
Right, well, I make myself a joke. Well,
Yeah.
I'll vote against it because it's still going to go through. But I don't care what's going on because
Oh,
this
I
is
thought you
ridiculous.
voted for
I have voted for it.
That's why you're going to
I have voted for it.
Could you make sure that's...
Chair, we on finance now.
I didn't know what I was voting for because I don't care. Because it's a little joke.
Jason,
going on.
we on
They
finance
don't want it
now.
through. They don't want it through. Yarm District Garden Association, I've ran the Yarm Town Council for about 30 years and I've got all the documents and this is what this is what we're going to get into trouble if we don't.
Are we on finance?
Oh, sorry.
I'll speak to you afterwards. Are we on
Bunch
finance?
of fishwives.
Fishwives.
What?
You've never spoken to me. How rude.
Look at the state.
Don't even know anything about me.
Silly little skinny woman.
Well, I'm sure, Mrs. Webb, that is lovely, that.
Well, I'm sure being called a monkey is. Don't you?
Chair, we on finance?
Yeah. To authorise the payments on the accounts.
Chair, we're on finance.
Oh, we're going to be late tonight. Wait for me, Mick.
Oh, finance. Good. Have you gone through correspondence yet?
Correspondent.
Right. There was just a letter from the National Savings and Investment advising that the change of signatories is now in place. Did I circulate the issue of the phone booth being closed?
The phone booth?
There's a couple of public pay phones being removed.
Oh, right. Down,
That's
down.
in the town, is it?
Down,
High Street.
Near Sainsbury's. Near Sainsbury's, rather.
Junction, Low Lane, PCO, High Leaven Farm, Seymour Road,
Oh, it's not the ones in that.
Hilton
No,
Yard.
it's listed.
Turn round.
There's only two I can find in Yard.
It's not Yard.
On the correspondence, I forgot to forward an email.
Let me have another look through this. Spitalfields Yard.
Yeah.
That's only been used for 6 calls in the last 12 months, so that's
Yeah.
Oh, they're taking them out.
yep.
Can't tell you.
I thought I might put it out.
Most people have phones, even mobiles now.
Well, that's it then.
Jeff, on the
Explain what the
correspondence.
possible land for football pitch was, please.
Anyway, that's just notifying us of those. We've got an invitation to the Showman's Guild lunch, annual lunch. That's for the chairman and consort of Yarm Town Council. I think Lynn's already declined this, and I've got an invitation for myself.
We should go then. Where is it? Ramsay.
Yeah. So I'll take. But does anybody want to fill the places of our chairman and consort?
Me.
Yeah.
Seems to get around the golf throw here as well.
Retain partner.
Seems to get around the golf
I'll
throw.
take somebody else, yeah. Unless Jason wants to go first.
Right. What else is on my little list? Yeah, this email that came in through the website from Luke Allen. Greetings, I'm a leader of a once-again footballers wishing to set up an adult football team in Yarm, Eaglescliffe area. We'll be known as the Yarm and Eaglescliffe FC. We will enter the men's Teesside League playing Saturday afternoons for the season 17-18. We are probably going to play on Conyers AstroTurf. We are very ambitious and are looking to progress through the leagues. The Northern League and beyond is a realistic target. However, Conyers School pitch wouldn't meet FA ground grading criteria to progress much further than the Teesside League. And what he's sort of inquiring is there any sort of plots of land existing which could eventually be developed to specific standards. The standards would include hard standing around the pitch, a barrier around the pitch, changing facilities and eventually floodlights. Do we have any Land?
There's only the grammar school got stuff like that.
Do we own any particular land?
We haven't got anywhere
We've
that...
got any
Well,
flats,
it's
but
only
it's
when
not
it's not
fit
fit,
for
it's not
fit for
safe.
it's not safe for football.
So
It needs rolling.
we don't have any.
They could kick hell out of each other.
That's on the agenda. The other bit, the external audit, that's on the agenda. We've gone through that. We've gone through that, right?
On the correspondence, I forgot to send you an email I had. Or did I send it over? I replied and I don't think I've copied you in today. It's regarding the bench outside the library.
Oh yes, that's been moved.
It's been moved back. It's been moved back because I got it moved to boys, and now the library's been done. It's got moved back, and I've got the bin has been put in, even though it needs to coat of paint. But there's slats and everything missing off the bench, and I've been getting emails from Brian, and I've replied to him today because obviously the amount of emails we get, it gets lost. And I thought I copied you in, and I've just
One of them's been
forgot.
repaired today.
Has it?
I don't know which bench it is, but I've just been looking at it tonight.
The one outside the library?
Yeah,
Right.
two new slats on it.
I noticed one of the workshop lads repairing one or two lats. I think it was on this side.
Oh, it's the one over there that he's been on
some
about.
damage on
And I was always thinking, are
But
they
we
on
are
the seats?
supposed to be getting an inventory, Andrew.
Oh, yeah?
Of all the
I'm
seats.
halfway through it at the moment.
Are they our seats?
Yeah, because wasn't Rob
The
Bell's
new
brother
ones are not.
supposed to do
The
it?
new ones around the town hall are put in by Stockton, and there's one.
The point is,
on
Jeff,
this side.
throughout the parish, if you want, or throughout the parish, there are benches that are owned by the Town Council, benches that are owned by Stockton, benches that have been given by families. I would suggest that any that need repair, we just do them all, irrespective of who the...
Did we not have an audit? There was an
Well,
audit plan.
I am halfway through it at the moment.
So you take are you taking photographs of everyone?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I'll get there eventually. I wanted to get it done in the summer, but...
And finally, there's an invitation to the Mayor of Stockton's charity casino games, Friday the 28th of October. At
usually
the
quite
Governor
expensive.
Casino, Chandler's Wharf, Stockton-on-Tees.
It is. It's not a free one, you have to pay.
Tickets £15 each.
Come on, now, Ken Dixon, you know where he's like.
Sort of first come, first served. Anybody interested?
No, not for me.
No big cameras.
You're in the chair mode.
The finance chair.
Right, yep.
Where's he gone?
I think he's just taking the phone.
Probably a smoke, actually.
Finance. Authorised payment of the accounts.
I sent you around
Oh,
the
we've done that.
schedule, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jeff, we've done that. To consider the report of the external
No, you did
auditor.
for the ways and tolls.
Yeah, we
Sorry?
did
No,
for
this
the-
is the main council.
Yeah. We
Have
did.
you approved all the
I
finance?
don't-
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Are you sure we are?
Because I've got one additional that just came in today, and it was for the watering of the hanging baskets in the High Street
Okay.
from Ian Carlin.
These are still
And-
getting watered.
Good night.
Won't take it
I won't
down.
take it down, they're dead.
Won't take it
Terrible.
down.
Well, I know they
Absolute
won't take
mess.
Are they still up?
Yeah, they're dead.
We only had them watered for 60 days, about 9 weeks,
Yeah.
and we could have covered that.
Where was this?
Right.
Round the town hall?
Yeah, no,
No, down the High Street.
Down the house.
around
You're
east
not
and west
asking for
Right,
side.
okay, we'll put that in for approval. To consider the report of the external auditor. I think that's been answered anyway, hasn't it?
Yeah,
The
because
issue of
that,
the reserves, which that 200 and...
that's been transferred over,
been
cashed in and
transferred over.
transferred over into our
Which,
accounts.
which was the money that was sat in the guilds or wherever they were. Have you written back to the auditor about that?
No, that's just in their report.
Oh, right, okay.
It'll not appear next year because that stock account doesn't exist.
Okay.
The,
So that's good.
the business rates refund, I didn't realise they were getting basically half of it. That's more than, I thought it was, what, 30% or something?
You know, it's like
Quite good.
about 35 or 40.
Because that
We
looks-
take the VAT out their invoice and we get the VAT back out the invoice.
And that was without,
Plus we don't pay no more for this year.
no, it's just, the refund was 12,000 and now I'm getting 5.5. I thought it was less than that, so it was only about 3.5. I don't know where I got that from.
But by the time we sort of take the
That was
VAT
it,
out
right.
of it,
Um,
20% of that.
P&R to consider the complaints procedure and its adoption, but I thought we'd already done this.
Well, Marjorie asked me to look at The one that you produced at the last meeting?
Complaints procedure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I gave that to you. I've still
They are very similar, but that one is just, that I've produced, is just slightly more update in terms and terminology, and it's the latest one that's out on release from the SLC.
Can we agree to adopt the complaints procedure?
Could I ask that we put an amendment that when you acknowledge the letter or acknowledge the complaints of the complainant by letter, presumably that's what you intend to do, isn't it?
Yep.
Can you send them a copy of our complaints policy so they're aware of it?
I'm going to put it on the website. No?
Yeah, but do it anyway so they've got it. And then there's no ifs or buts about it.
So can we approve that?
Yeah, move it.
To consider other issues on P&R. Now, it's my understanding that the quotes that we've got to do the footpath should be discussed and agreed within in P&R. You can't do it under the line. It's not you don't have to name the contractors. No. We just discuss the cost and make a decision based on that, and approve it under P&R.
Right, so do you want to discuss it now?
Yeah. So we've got two quotes.
Peter, can I just say, is one of the quotes one of the guys that built that toilet?
I've no idea. I have no idea who they are.
idea.
No idea.
No.
So we requested two quotes to relay the footpath at the parish church, and you've got the quotes, Jeff?
I've got two quotes, yes.
Okay.
I've got quote number one is for £2,700
Sorry,
plus
what's
the
this
VAT.
quote for?
The parish church.
The footpath, right.
2,700.
2,700
That plus VAT.
plus the VAT. And the other one is subtotal 2,971.91 pence plus the VAT.
What they're going to do, Peter? They're going to relay the whole lot.
There's a huge section of it that they're going to take out and relay it. Goes up about halfway up the south path.
£2,500.
It's
Don't
about halfway
let
up the
him
south
see.
path.
You got a folder there with
We've had problems with them before. Don't let him see who they are. Just tell them how much and what.
They're going to do halfway up the south path, up to the top, and about halfway down the other path. There's quite a lot of broken stones in there as well.
And it's not just taking it up and relaying, but it's taking it up and addressing some of the tree roots so we can get
There's quite a lot. It's quite bad, and there's quite a lot of work involved in it now.
Yeah.
So the council need to make a decision on which
Well, we need the price. That's what.
You've got the price.
2,700 plus VAT or 2,971 plus VAT.
And are they going to do all the same things for those amounts? Well, I'll go for the cheapest one. 2,700.
2,700.
And similarly, the allotment work quotes should be under P&R, not under the line.
Right. I haven't got what I wanted. Despite having contacted a number of electricians and meeting with some of them on site, all I've got back is one silly quote, and that's just to do an electrical inspection and write it up. And that's all he was prepared to sort of do.
Jason? I suggested that when you found out that the electrics were all faulty in the hut, that Lynn contact you to contact Dave Turnbull.
Yes, and Dave Turnbull contacted
really good,
me, and
isn't
I said to contact Jeff, and did he?
Well, I don't know. I've been in touch with 4 people.
He's rating it again.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say with Dave Turnbull.
It's not Dave Turnbull.
Have you had only one response?
Yep.
And that's just to inspect.
That's just the
That's not
inspecting
what we
right
want.
Effectively a survey.
Yeah, but that's not what we want, is it?
If you send
Well,
3 out,
it's part and parcel, but I was expecting like a bit of a survey and then a costed
Yeah.
survey, and then we'll pick out of that.
Well, I would suggest that Dave Turnbull, who did my electrics for my extension, he was very good. Lives off the high street. I think, well, I've seen him now and again.
Don't we just want to set a spec to replace the consumer unit and rewire the thing to 17th edition?
So you've had one of Dave Turnbull then?
No.
He's
No.
been.
Has Dave Turnbull been?
Yeah, it is, yeah, it is.
His wife's BA,
Yeah.
British
he's
Airways.
been. Yes, he's been.
Well, I asked for them
He's
to
been
be
up.
returned
He's
to
been.
tonight's meeting, but I haven't gotten any.
It's just I know that he was really good.
I suggest we go with the other one if it's...
Well, we'll have to go back as we
Well,
can't.
that's that's
It's
not really what I
it's not
wanted.
to rewire, it's just
No.
a survey.
That's just to carry out an electrical installation condition report.
I'd suggest you go out again and do another round.
Yeah.
Tenders. We haven't got anything. You've got to do another round of tenders.
Okay then.
I'll speak to Dave Turnbull and see if we'll see why he declined to tender.
I might just invite somebody different this time.
What you actually asking for, exactly what I just said. Consumer unit and 17th edition reinstallation.
Well, anybody who walks in, most of them just say completely renewed.
Yeah, that's it. And certified.
Right.
But when we get the quotes for that and the other building, I think we have to have a site visit to decide whether we're going to do the two buildings, because one building hasn't got a lot of life left. It's chocked up. You know, if we hadn't chocked it up, it would have sort of broke its backbone. It's 20-year-old, 25, and we got it second hand anyway. It's a portable.
So you're suggesting we get another one?
No, I'm suggesting to go and have a look and see what we think.
We're on to staffing now, Chair.
To discuss any issues on staffing.
Are you getting supervision? Yeah. You're getting supervision for the chair.
Am I supervising you?
Are you getting any supervision, an opportunity to put back your point of view, whether you've been managed right and all the rest of it?
No, but I think we would work. Myself and the chair. Well, I met with the chair quite a few times.
Yeah. So you're getting informal supervision, effectively.
Not yet, but she knows that. In a sense, I've resolved quite a few bits and pieces and unearthed quite a few others. I generally sort of plough my way through a couple of lumps at a time. I don't do everything at once, but it's not right.
Well, I don't
Can't really
think
do
you'll
it
be
all at
able
once
to
now.
do.
But yeah, I will have a meeting with the chair just to talk about sort of like programme of workload, outstanding issues.
Raise any issues we're interested in.
Yeah.
Good. Complaints received. We're doing them under 16.
Yes.
Yes. Recreation. Any issues on recreation? No. Any issues on planning? Have we seen the planning applications? Anything on there that's responsible?
Yeah, I've circulated them round. I don't think there's any.
Anything on highways, transport or environment? No. Cemeteries to consider
We've
the...
done that, Chairman.
Have you?
Well,
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry. Allotments we've done. Any items for the next agenda? No? And now we move on to item